TBS Newswatch.
The flooded Midwest has seen heavy rain, and forecasters say it stands to suffer even more today. Yesterday, Iowa National Guardsmen and volunteers managed to shore up a severely eroded levee in Des Moines. Sources say the Clinton administration is strongly suggesting FBI Director William Sessions step down from his post by tomorrow. Sessions said yesterday he will not resign. And in Japan, projections show the long-ruling Liberal Democratic Party has lost its majority in the lower house of parliament. The LDP has been in power since 1955. For Newswatch, I'm Jenny West.
Mother Nature sets up the shot. Oh, she got all of that one.
True Test paint is made to withstand the worst weather,
There's another fine play.
including golf ball-sized hail.
Mother Nature can do no wrong.
Remember, when it comes to the weather, Mother Nature never yells for. True Test paints, only at True Value. Select Weatherall paints are now at the lowest prices of the year at participating stores.
This has been TBS Newswatch.
The world needs your help.
Biodiversity. An expression of hope.
And Network Earth responds by bringing environmental awareness to the home front.
Personal space.
Ethic. Connect with Network Earth, 11 Eastern, tonight only on TBS.
We had him such a short time. We had the good moments, the happy times, the great times, the wins, the losses. Beauty, love, horror, pain, sadness. Fame and love. Mostly love. We had him only through the spring of his life. There'll be no summer nor fall for David Carl Allison. But we'll hold what we have close and dear and in our hearts and minds for a long, long time to come. Fare thee well, Davey. Fare thee well.
TBS Sports and Motor Week Productions present the running of the NASCAR Winston Cup Miller Genuine Draft 500 at the Pocono International Raceway. To describe today's action, Ken Squire and Neil Bonnet.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ken Squire, along with Neil Bonnet, 40 race teams, and some 100,000 racing fans today. Everyone here, and I suspect you at home, come to this event with heavy hearts and misty eyes. And we're going to go racing. That's what this sport, that's what this community is all about. That's what Davey Allison's about. That's what Davey would have done, Neil.
That's exactly right, Ken. Davey Allison, what a competitor and what a person. It's times like this you question what you do next. I know one thing, our hearts and prayers are out to the Allisons. Judy, Bobby, Liz, the entire Allison family. I questioned myself, what do you do next? And I had some pretty good advice I'd like to share with you. Just a couple of nights ago, I sat down with Bobby Allison, and Bobby's the very person that told me, said, Neil, you make commitments throughout your life. And when something like this happens, the only way to get it behind you is to fulfill those commitments and carry on. Ken, we must carry on. It's going to be tough, but I think that's what we have to do.
Thank you, Neil. Before we go racing, we invite all of you here in Pocono, along with our audience at home, to rise and observe a minute of silence in honor of our friend, Davey Allison.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The traditional command being given to 40 racing teams to fire up their motors and be ready to do battle here this afternoon at Pocono International Raceway. Great to have you with us here on TBS Sports. I'm Rick Benjamin in the SDP Pit Center. We'll be keeping track of a variety of stories for you all throughout the afternoon here at Pocono. Beautiful weather day, temperature in the upper 80s, and as Ken Squire told you, a packed house here to see the second Winston Cup event of the season, the Miller Genuine Draft 500 here at Pocono International Raceway. Just a few weeks ago, Kyle Petty took the measure of the field here. Today, he'll be starting pretty far back. Ken Schrader will have the pole as we will talk to him in just a couple of moments here today. But it's a wonderful day for racing and a full crowd here to see everything that is going to unfold this afternoon, and we're going to bring it all to you here on TBS. Let's get the thoughts this afternoon of the pole sitter. Randy Pemberton is standing by with Kenny Schrader.
Well, thank you, Rick Benjamin. Kenny Schrader has certainly had a roller coaster ride this season. You've had some great runs. You've had some good qualifying efforts, some good finishes. Second here last weekend, taken out early in a crash. What's it going to be this week? Can you be a prophet? Or are you going to be able to go to victory lane?
Let's say that the whole Kodiak team came to this race geared up for it. You know, we've had two good runs here in qualifying. Run second to Kyle in the race last month. He was dominant. Car's been running good. We're sure going to try, but I wouldn't make no guarantees on anything.
Any keys to getting around here? I know you had a great qualifying effort, but what about getting around here during the race? Will it change on you?
Well, it's going to change a little bit. It's hotter today, and it's a different temperature here it was last month. So we're just going to have to kind of play by ear. We weren't as happy as we'd like to have been with the car yesterday afternoon. Changed a couple springs, so we think we'll be better.
All right, thank you, Randy. On the outside of the front row today, a driver who has not had much success this year. We talked with him a few moments ago. Bill Elliott is with the editor of Stock Car Racing Magazine, Dr. Dick Berggren.
1993 has been the toughest year in Bill Elliott's entire career. It has been an uncharacteristic season with no wins, no poles, no top 5 finishes. Indeed, the average finish has been 17th. But Bill Elliott is here this afternoon, starting on the outside pole with a very strong car and a very strong run. Strong enough to salvage the season, Bill?
Well, we would like to hope so. You know, in this business, you kind of take it a race at a time. But, you know, the main thing is just try to get the season something going to really work on next year, because I think Dale kind of sacrificed last year to come back to do what he's doing this year. And I think that's where we need to work on at this particular point in time. You know, so we'll probably keep trying different things, and we might not be where we need to be at the end of the year, but hopefully we're working all toward a goal on next year.
Well, he's won 4 here at Pocono, and I bet he'd trade every one of them for a win this afternoon. Rick Benjamin?
Thank you, Dr. Dick Berggren. Undoubtedly he would. It has been not the strongest of years, as you just heard Bill Elliott describe, but they're looking ahead already to 1994. Many of these teams, they'll want a good second half of the season. Of course, a tight point battle. Dale Earnhardt in command of the Winston Cup point standings at this juncture of the season as we are moving into the second half of the 93 campaign. But a lot of other money is up for grabs in the top 10 positions. Let's take a look now as we'll cover lots of different stories for you today. In the garage area, Johnny Hayes is standing by.
Welcome to the garage area. This is not a fun place to be right now. You can see everything's empty, not a thing happening. Everybody's up on pit road. This is the place where nobody wants to be early. And it's my job to talk to these people when they have to come in here early. I think I'd just soon work maybe cleaning up the septic tanks. It's about the same kind of job.
Okay, thank you, John. Neil Bonnet, Ken Squire topside as they're coming around in the first of the 2 preliminary laps today. Well, consider this. We've got a field that's 2 7/10 of a second apart from first to 40th. Top 23 just 1 second apart on this 2.5-mile track. Neil, this is going to be a dandy.
Yeah, you know, all the guys really, they ran here a month ago, so they really know what they want to come back here and have something to run with. So they shouldn't have any excuses. Everybody should be quick today.
All right, let's take a look at the starting lineup now for this 20th annual on the Haviland grid. The pole sitter is Ken Schrader, and he's there with a new track record, breaking Alan Kowicki's old mark at 162.934 miles an hour. Bill Elliott, 3-time winner, here's outside of the front row. Going to row 2, there you find Ricky Rudd, the winner at Michigan last month, and the winner at Talladega in May. Ernie Irvin is on the outside there. Row 3 today, it's Mark Martin still looking for that first win of the season, and Jimmy Hensley's at his best qualifying effort of the year. Good going, Jimmy. In row 4, Bobby Labonte, the impressive freshman out of Texas, and Morgan Shepherd, currently ranked 4th in the Winston Cup standings. In row 5, it's Derek Cope, former winner of the 500, looking very good, and Brett Bodine and Kenny Bernstein's Ford. Row 6 is Dale Earnhardt, the current point leader, and Hutch Strickland in the Junior Johnson Ford. Row 7, Jeff Bodine, and Bobby Hillen Jr. will be alongside. In row 8, it's Sterling Marlin. He has 4 straight top 10 finishes. Michael Waltrip is there beside him. Ran second in '88 here at Pocono. Row 9, Ted Musgrave says he's going to win this thing. He's been 5th the last 2 times. And the 5-time winner in '93, Rusty Wallace. Row 10 today, Kyle Petty, who dominated this race last month, and Jeff Gordon. He was second at Charlotte and Michigan thus far in his rookie year. Row 11 is going to be Harry Gant and Wally Dallenbach Jr. Row 12 is Dale Jarrett and Jimmy Spencer. Row 13, Rick Wilson and Greg Sachs. For row 14, a 4-time winner at Pocono there, Darrell Waltrip, Phil Parsons beside him. Row 15, it's Rick Mast and Kenny Wallace. Row 16 today, Dick Trickle, the Wisconsin veteran, and Terry Labonte, the '84 national champion. Row 17, T.W. Taylor, his second Winston Cup start, and Bobby Hamilton, the former Rookie of the Year. Row 19, it's going to be Jimmy Horton there, winner of a pair of ARCA races on this track, and Dave Marcus in his 728th start. Row 19 is Kenny Bouchard and Kerry Teague, and rounding out the field, it's Clay Young and Johnny Krebs out of California. And we're down for racing today on TBS. Coming for a start from Bobby Hillen's car as they come to the line. Pace car coming off. We're ready to go racing. 200 laps, $800,000 at stake. There's the break. Gets it underway.
Ken, what you have to watch for here is this race starts, they can't pass until they cross that start-finish line, then they go 4 wide.
Not much prudence being shown there as they dart and dive 4 and 5 wide. Now get it down to 2 abreast to the 14-degree banking of turns number 1 in this short chute up to the tunnel turn, that critical turn on this track at 8 degrees.
Ken, this is the toughest corner on the track. You carry a lot of speed in this corner. It's real flat. Go over these 2 tunnels are real hard to handle over that. The guys really got to stay on top of the car early to get some heat in those tires right here.
Well, there you see Schrader jumping out in front from the early going. On board with Bobby Hillen as they come down to the 6th degree, 3rd and 4th turn area. Old fairgrounds kind of corner here.
Yeah, this thing is 6 degrees, but when you're in the race car, it's like 6 the wrong way. The car really rolls over in this corner. It seems virtually flat from inside the race car.
And look at them bounce. And you're following right behind Ted Musgrave in that U.S. Air Jasper Engineering car down this 3,700-foot straightaway. As you watch them dart and dive, there's a lap around this Pocono International Raceway, and there's 199 to go to the side. This Miller 500 today. Whoa, somebody gets a very high ride.
Musgrave way right wide going down in that corner. Go over Derek Cope's car.
Trop Arctic camera in the first of those 2 short shoots. Derek Cope having a very good qualifying run for Cale Yarborough. Up in front, it's Schrader leading, Elliott second, Morgan Shepherd has moved into 3rd, Ernie Irvin is in 4th, Ricky Rudd in 5th. There you see Elliott chasing Schrader. Ford tracing Chevy in that same groove through 3 and 4.
Ken, I can't help but think here, Bill Elliott has such a seat. He has not led a lap in Winston Cup racing this year. That's unbelievable. And I think that's the first challenge he wants to overcome right now, lead this race.
4th place battle. Earnhardt to the inside. Mark Martin in the middle. Ricky Rudd up on the outside. You might have seen that he stopped in the backstretch. I think he was adjusting his wheel before we got ready to go here today. Earnhardt on the bottom. Gets himself a bit of a hole and picks up some spots. Gets under Rudd. Give him 6th position now on the field.
They've got those Jericho transmissions in these cars. They shifted to 3rd gear at that corner. They're running through this area of the track in 3rd gear and over the tunnel. They shifted back to high down the front straightaway.
Look at Bobby Labonte hug the inside here as he comes into turn number 2. Right behind him is Derek Cope in that Bojangles number 98 for Cale Yarborough. You're on board with him right now.
He's going to the inside right here, trying to get under Bobby Labonte, going in this flat corner. Taking a look over at the driver. See, the car's up in 3rd gear. He's got that shifter up in 3rd through this section right here. We'll watch him come down this long straightaway. He's just coming off the corner. And the motor's up at 8,000, 83, 84, 88, shifted into high gear for just a short amount of time.
Derek Cope picking him off. He's up into 8th position, chasing Bobby Labonte in 7th.
Just to win that corner, Ken, we saw him shove it back 3rd, so that's the work they'll be doing all day long with these transmissions.
Track looks really rough there. We'll talk about that in a moment. Let's get back with the leaders as they begin to muscle down tighter together. Schrader in that lead. There you see Elliott in 2nd. Here comes Ernie Irvin on the inside. Irvin streaks by Morgan Shepherd. Ernie Irvin into that 3rd spot. Now an Ernie Irvin car, the one that won the 1991 Daytona 500, won here in an ARCA race yesterday. A brilliant drive by a young Michigan man. Tim Steele drove a Morgan McClure car, former Morgan McClure car, to just an incredible win over Jeff Purvis. It was one of the best ARCA races we've ever seen. Main straightaway, there's Kyle Petty going to the outside. Brett Bodine right in front of him.
They've got to be looking at Kyle Petty here because he dominated the first race just a month ago up here. He just ran away from the field. He had a little time off qualifying, but they expect him to come to the front.
Brett Bodine trying to move under the Cale Yarborough car with Derek Cope at the controls today. Off the first turn. Derek Cope car looking pretty stout for the moment out there. Here's Kyle Petty from Derek Cope's car.
There he's coming on that short chute. He's trying to get the nose under him before they get to the tunnel. And there he goes. He's got Cope out. He drives up under him. That's that preferred line over that tunnel. He should have him coming in the short chute.
Folks, for those of you that remember Kyle dominating this race in June, there were some other cars that fell out that were very strong. They fell out early. Everyone said, do you think they would put that car up on Jackson until the next race in Pocono? They did just that. But when they brought the car back here, because of the heat wave that has covered this track over the past month, the track has changed. I talked to Robin Pemberton about this car. They said the only thing that is the same on this car that was in June was one spring and 2 shocks. All the rest of it is different. The sway bars, the caster, the camber, everything just a little bit different. That's how difficult it is to come back to a track and repeat.
Battle for the lead. Ernie Irvin down to the inside, and he wheels by 3-4 car lengths away from Schrader. Man on a mission. The missile out there is Irvin at the present time. Ernie Irvin around that final corner, headed down to complete lap number 6 this time by.
Again, that report Randy gave us was just an idea of what Winston Cup racing is all about. You win 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, come back with the same car, you can't even keep up, so the thing changes week in and week out.
Now look at that Ford, number 6, try the outside coming through that 3rd and 4th turn area.
There's Earnhardt down the inside of Bill Elliott. He's got the 6 car and the 21 giving him a push.
Mark Martin has pulled in behind Earnhardt now. Elliott line 3rd. Now they come out 3 wide, and there's Mark Martin stretching it on the inside, and car number 6 finds the hole, and he's there. Take a look at it this way as you watch it live here on TBS. Mark Martin sprinting toward the front. Mark Martin in car number 6. Now up to 4th position. Elliott in 3rd. Schrader, and up in front Ernie Irvan.
Mark was able to get around Earnhardt going the first turn, and Earnhardt gets back by him going through the short chute. See if Mark jumps back under him. They've got a little rivalry going with these two drivers, and they love racing with each other.
They both put marks on each other's cars up at Loudon, New Hampshire a week ago. Here you see Earnhardt back to 3rd, and that'll put the Martin car in 4th. Shepard is back to 5th. In 6th, Ricky Rudd, and back to 7th goes Bill Elliott. Strickland is 8th, Bobby Labonte 9th, Hensley 10th, Sterling Marlin 11th, Brett Bodine in 12th, Kyle Petty is 13th, and Derek Cope is in 14th.
Boy, Ernie Irvan's got a little bit of running room. Once he cleared Kenny Schrader, he's pulled out about 8 or 10 car length lead. Now Earnhardt's trying to get around Schrader.
This is a battle for 2nd. Here's your lead, Irvan. This time by, they'll be up to 8 laps. Trying to secure a light in that 3rd and 4th turn. That is a tricky part of this racetrack. No matter how you're set up, you're going to have it on the edge right here.
Ken, when they come in and try to set a car up this track, you've got 3 different turns. You never get it just like you want it on either end. You just compromise all the way around, try to get it as best you can. It's a trade out in each end of the racetrack, and then you just wrestle the car the rest of the way around.
Here's Schrader in that point position. Here comes Earnhardt. Now comes Martin down to the inside. 3-car battle for the lead. Then having to back out is Martin. He has to tuck back in another time. Mark Martin, there's been some trouble brewing between Dale Earnhardt and yourself. There's been a few skirmishes of late. Things cooled down a little out there?
Somebody asked me that last week, and I said, we're not married. But, no, everything's fine. We're racing hard, and hopefully we'll get to do a bunch of that this week.
Can I tell you, when you race the same guys week in and week out, you can't help but ruffle each other's feathers every now and then. It's amazing to me that in Winston Cup racing that we don't have more feuds and stuff going on. Here we see Earnhardt getting up in the 25 car across the short chute. That's for 2nd place. What I was trying to say is, you know, it's not like football where you play a different team every week. These racers have to race against the same guy every time we go to the racetrack. Sooner or later, you're going to make some of them mad.
A week ago at Loudon, New Hampshire, we saw great effort put out by Rusty Wallace at the right fuel stop, pulled himself in. Look at Ricky Rudd break to the inside and try to come through.
Something's happened to Mark Martin because he was 2nd right behind Earnhardt, and all of a sudden he's way on the inside. We see him out of shot here. He looked like he pulled the inside. We'll see if he's having a problem.
Car number 6 coming down the main straightaway in lap number 9. Looked like it might be off the pace. We'll see. He's tucked in behind Hutch Strickland for the moment.
Yeah, he was right up there in the middle of it. And he seems to be able to hold up speed. I don't know if he just decided to back the pace off or what, but he sure lost a lot of positions there. Boy, look at Hutch Strickland's car, loose over the tunnel. And there comes Mark back up under him. I thought Mark had a problem. He dropped a good way back, but evidently he just got caught in that shuffle in the traffic.
So as Mark Martin backs up just a bit into the grasp of Hutch Strickland, it's Ernie Irvan leading. Earnhardt 2nd, Schrader 3rd, Morgan Shepherd 4th, Ricky Rudd is in 5th.
The Miller Genuine Draft 500 is brought to you by Castrol Syntec, the synthetic oil that protects in ways other oils can't. By McDonald's, what you want is what you get, guaranteed at McDonald's today. By Western Auto, the official auto parts and service store of NASCAR. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
One of these engines was filled with Castrol Syntec, a synthetic oil, the rest with conventional oils. They were then drained and started without oil to prove a point. You see, Syntec has a unique molecular structure that bonds to engine parts. Lab tests show it leaves a layer of protection far stronger than conventional oil. And if Syntec protects this well now, imagine if you leave it in. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't.
At 180 miles an hour, Darrell Waltrip can't afford a bad part.
Ouch, man, that hurt. Like you, I need quality parts at the right price. And at Western Auto, we guarantee it. You'll find thousands of top name brand parts, all backed by Western Auto's unbeatable everyday low price guarantee. Right?
Right, DW. Pick up AC oil filters at Western Auto's unbeatable low price every day. AC oil filter. It's like buying time.
The right parts, unbeatable low prices. At Western Auto, we guarantee it.
Right, DW.
Imagine this is a sidewall of a tire. The whole idea is to keep the tread area in level contact with the road, or you'll lose traction, especially in cornering. Now, Goodyear has learned a lot in NASCAR racing and applied that knowledge to Eagle's street radials. In cornering, there's a lot of force trying to lift the tire, but Goodyear Eagle's racing-inspired sidewall design works to hold the tire firmly to the road. Eagle radials, only from Goodyear. We like to say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
We're gonna take your picture. Here we go. Okay, give me a big smile. Don't worry, kids love me. Oh, it's the phone. They want you to smile. They'll call you back. So this guy walks into a psychiatrist with a squid on his head. Oh, you've heard this one. Ow! Funny thing happened to me on the way to the sandbox tonight. Look, I'm the mouse man. Don't cry. It's just me. It's not really a mouse. I'm dying here. You like French fries? You like McDonald's? What did I tell you? Kids love me.
Under caution for the first time. It happened in lap 11. Car number 62, Clay Young, out of Smyrna, Georgia. This is what happened to him. Tunnel corner, car number 62, getting loose on the bottom of the racetrack, and he spins in and lands in the grass. Now these two circulated all the way around the track. They're battling to come back to lead, and this is only at lap 12, Neil. You know who those contenders are. Irvin on the outside, Earnhardt on the inside, and this is just to lead on the restart.
Yeah, but not just only to lead on the restart. They were racing for the lead, and that's 5 points right there. When Earnhardt crosses the line, that's 5 points for that championship, and that's what their team tries for, to lead every lap they can.
Since he dropped 80 points last week to Dale Jarrett, he's trying to collect everything he can and give him a 5 bonus right there as he streaked back to the line. Wide open, getting underneath Ernie Irvin here in the early going. Let's go to the STP Pit Center and Rick Benjamin.
Ken, among the stories we're going to be following today, the True Value Hard Charger Award. True Value puts up $5,000 per race, plus a $50,000 point fund at the end of the season. Top 5 drivers score points every lap of every Winston Cup race. Here's a look at the standings so far this season. As you'd expect, Dale Earnhardt, the current Winston Cup point leader, leads the Hard Charger standings over Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace. Ernie Irvin, Davey Allison had racked up 6,252 Hard Charger points. We'll keep you posted on this, and at the end of the race, we'll let you know who the True Value Hard Charger is.
On to pit road goes car number 6. Mark Martin is in. And also now Strickland, Elliott, Dallenbach, Hillen, Michael Waltrip, Rick Wilson, Harry Gant, Darrell Waltrip, Bobby Hamilton, Jimmy Spencer. Back of the field pitting, but not the front of the field here.
Ken, I tell you what, whenever they turned off turn 4, all the leaders made a fake into the pits. Earnhardt, the 4 car, all those guys faked it in. They don't want to give up that track position. There's Mark Martin with a hood up. We were concerned that he had some kind of, here they go, they're going under the hood.
Here's Randy.
Guys, I don't think you're going to believe this one. Mark Martin's luck this year has been unbelievable. A carburetor problem. Mark came over the radio and said when he went through the corners fast, it felt like the car was having a convulsion. So they're going to change the carburetor, desperately trying to do this quickly so they don't lose a lap here. Incidentally, Mark Martin was the quickest car in practice here yesterday. I talked to several crew chiefs. He had as much as 0.4 of a second a lap. He was out there just riding. Now he's got a carburetor problem. What else could happen to this team this year?
Randy, you're exactly right. We saw Mark Martin make a strong run at the leaders, and then when we thought he had a problem, I believe he backed her down there a little bit and had this problem here, but changing that carburetor. They're lucky they're at Pocono, Pennsylvania. They can possibly get this entire carburetor changed and back going before the pace car gets back.
Indeed, the cars are just up to the tunnel turn behind the pace cars. We get ready to go again. We'll have 14 laps of 200 complete when they come by. This is the 6th place car when it pitted, Mark Martin. Falling well back, but trying to get out here and not lose a lap. Earnhardt stays first, Irvin second, Schrader third. We'll be back with more from Pocono after these messages.
There are a lot of reasons people walk into my True Value store. Sometimes it's convenience. We're right in the neighborhood. Sometimes they want advice, and sometimes they're bargain hunting, looking for true values.
Like DAP Fast and Final, the lightweight interior spackling. You get 16 ounces for the price of 8. Then get this Hudson 2-gallon pumpless poly sprayer. Just attach your hose and pressurize. It never needs pumping.
You know, the name says it all. True Value.
The new Camaro. What else would you expect from the country that invented rock and roll?
The laboratories of 2001 announce a major breakthrough in auto protectant technology, Formula 2001 Super Protectant. Its advanced SunStop formula helps protect against the sun's UV rays, extreme temperatures, and moisture, which cause fading, drying, and cracking. What's more, independent lab tests prove Formula 2001 provides a more brilliant, longer-lasting shine than Armor All on vinyl and leather. But what if your car's surfaces are already faded? We went to the Arizona desert to put Formula 2001 Super Protectant to the ultimate test. Watch what happens to UV faded vinyl, rubber, even dried faded leather. Get the new standard in automotive protectant technology, the one with 50% more active shining ingredients than Armor All. Formula 2001 Super Protectant with a fresh leather fragrance. And for the unique demands of tire care, get new Formula 2001 Tire Foam and Shine. Just spray and walk away. Get 2001 at these fine stores.
Pocono Raceway is celebrating 20 years of Winston Cup racing with a motorsports country fair. The Mountain Magic Jamboree, August 14th through the 22nd, will feature Weira motorcycle racing, amusement rides, fireworks, thrill shows, Winnebago RV rodeo, Vintage Cars and Auto Festival, Winston Cup drivers and souvenirs, plus stage shows featuring Marie Osmond August 20th, Gary Morris the 21st, and Lee Greenwood the 22nd. Advance purchase discount tickets available at Ticketmaster. For details, call Pocono Raceway at 1-800-RACEWAY. Be part of the Mountain Magic Jamboree at Pocono Raceway, August 14th through the 22nd.
Tuesday, Triumph in Tokyo, floods at home, gays in uniform. Issues for Bill Clinton on a special Larry King Live, an interview with the president, plus your phone calls, Tuesday night, 9 Eastern.
We're back with you at Pocono, Pennsylvania. Making a quick pit stop was Mark Martin. He was able to get it. We've got a umbrella that has blown up off the pit road and got out on the track right here in the main straightaway just as they put the green flag back out at lap 15. Now Mark Martin came in a second time to finish the work on that car number 6. Let's get a report from Randy Pemberton as to how they were able to get that job done.
Well, guys, under that caution, they did get the carburetor changed. Mark Martin went back up. They had it all hooked up. They had to come back in and put the air cleaner on as well as the air intake duct on the cowl area. They got that changed, and he went back out. He did not lose a lap. Now, Mark has just radioed. He's got the same problem. So maybe it is not a carburetor, but expect Mark Martin to attempt to ride it out until the next caution. It is not running perfectly.
He's 17 seconds down in 39th position from the leaders.
Randy, Ken, one thing I was wondering, they changed that carburetor to C, but it might be valve springs or something if it's still fluttering like that in the corner.
Battle for the lead here. Earnhardt versus Irvin up in front as they work lap 17. Just behind him, Schrader third, Morgan Shepherd fourth. Kyle Petty has moved from 7th up to 5th of the restart. Sterling Marlin is in 6th, Rudd to 7th, Bobby Labonte 8th, 9th is Brett Bodine, and 10th is Rusty Wallace in the sort-out. Now let's take a look at the Napa breakdown after 14 of 200 laps on the field. Taking you back through the field here, Rusty Wallace, Jimmy Hensley up there in 12th, having a very good run. Jarrett in the 15th position. Down out of turn 4 come your leaders. And there you see the interval between the number 4 of Ernie Irvin and Schrader in that 25 with Morgan Shepherd tucked right in behind him, and here comes Kyle Petty, the man on the move.
Kyle Petty's up in 5th place now, Ken. He's really coming up through that field now.
From 19th on that start. Good run for Kyle Petty thus far.
You know, even though they say they don't have the same chassis, sometimes you'll come to track, you'll find that right type engine combination. The gear ratios in these transmissions, you can have different numbers in those gear ratios. They hit on something in the last race up here, and even though they don't have the same chassis, that car's coming to the front.
And right behind him from 15th position, you see number 8, Sterling Marlin. He's on the move as well. had himself almost that first victory up at the New Hampshire International Speedway last Sunday. He looked stout for over 100 laps. Ford backed up on it. Here comes Kyle Petty to the inside. Has Morgan Shepherd. Scramble for fourth.
Made a good run up off that corner, Ken. The thing you want to do here is all you want to do is at least be even with him going in this corner, and you'll take that position away. You got to give a little bit right to see Morgan's going to cut in behind him. That flat surface out there outside is tricky. Got to stay real close to that corner, the inside line.
Watch Sterling Marlin in the blue and white number 8 underneath Morgan Shepherd from the Ray Bestis aerial platform, giving us this shot as they head for the tunnel turn. Ricky Rudd is also on a charge coming up after Morgan Shepherd in the 21. Then you see Bobby Labonte just behind him, Brett Bodine, and last week's winner, Rusty Wallace. Bobby Labonte looking inside of Ricky Rudd. Field coming down out of 4. Further back in the field, Rudd there in that 7th position. Bobby Labonte right behind him.
Well, the draft down this front straightaway really is critical. You see that whole line snake over to one side. If one guy moves, the rest of them jump with him. It goes so fast down through here that the draft is really, really strong.
Morgan Shepherd seems for the moment to be the car backing up. In the lead, it's Earnhardt. Irvin willing to ride in second spot for the moment. Schrader, then your third place car. Kyle Petty coming by. And just behind Kyle in the number 42. Take a little further look back here. Should be Sterling Marlin coming into view.
Sterling's team's had some good runs the last month or so. They've really got their car coming alive. And Sterling's been right up in the front with a chance to win some races.
Back in 9th, the green car, Brett Bodine. In 10th, you see Rusty Wallace hanging tough to Kyle Petty, making a move on Schrader. That's Kyle for third spot on this long 3,700-foot chute. Kyle Petty dominated here last month. So do you think he couldn't wait to get back here?
When you win a race like that, it's like going back when I used to win Rockingham like that. You hate to go back to Rockingham, man, because everybody expects you to do it. And when you win a race like we won up here the first time, then everybody expects you to be the guy to be. And, you know, it just happened last time, and hopefully it'll happen again. But, you know, hopefully somebody else will be just as fast and take some pressure off of us.
It's happening again up in front. Ernie Irvin puts the number 4 back into first place. Earnhardt will have no part of it. Here he comes right back for the lead.
As soon as Irvin passed him going to the tunnel, he slid out a little bit. Earnhardt drove right back. Now what's it for? He's wanting to get right back under Earnhardt. Swap this lead 2 or 3 times in one lap.
Come on, Neil. They both picked up the 5 points. What's all this about?
Well, this is called racing. That's why we're all here. And these two guys love to go at each other.
What a good show they put on.
Look who's coming up, though. There's Kyle, though. While these two are doing this side-by-side racing, they got somebody going to get involved also. Kyle was so strong before. He takes that lead. He's going to be hard-headed.
Got their own parade up in front. But here comes somebody who could really mess it up. Kyle Petty looking in from about 15 car lengths back now on those 2 leaders. He's been as quick as anything here. And back in June when he dominated, he led 158 of the 200 laps around this 2.5-mile track. Here comes Kyle, bent on collecting the 4 and 3. And definitely closing ground.
No doubt. That car is working so good across the tunnel. What's this flat area of the racetrack? That's where his car works good. He gets on this flat section here. You see these guys, they're out a little bit off the curb, and Kyle's car runs right on that curb. Makes a strong run off the corner at him.
Kyle closes it down to about 8 car lengths. Marlin 4th, Schrader 5th, Morgan Shepherd 6th. Bobby Labonte right there. Take a look down. Here comes young Gordon looking under Ricky Rudd. He wants to take a shot. Jeff Gordon peers down to the inside of Ricky Rudd's car and then decides he wants to stay right where he is for the moment. He's tried twice to pull by him.
Yeah, those are team cars. Both of those cars are owned by Rick Hendricks. They want to work together as much as they can, but if Gordon thinks he's got a better car, he wants to be leading that 5.
13th and 14th position right here. Just in front of them, Jarrett. Let's go back up front. Watch Ernie Irvin and Dale Earnhardt have an old-fashioned stock car skirmish up here for the lead. Back comes Earnhardt on the inside.
Yeah, but they got side by side. Irvin was looking at that. You think the draft doesn't make a big difference here? No matter where the leader goes, the rest of them are going to follow him. It'll look like a snake coming down this front straightaway, but they're going to have to stay in line, or that Kyle's going to have both of them.
Big old python. Just swirling its way down that main straightaway and through turn number 1. Here comes Kyle, down to about 4 car lengths now to the 2 that have been battling for the lead over the last 10 laps. We're at lap 24 when they come by this time.
Ken, I can't help but think these 2 leaders know that Kyle is going to catch him and pass him. The guy figures if he's the front man, he'll have to fight with that second place guy a little bit and get a little bit of distance. So the 3 and the 4 won't let Kyle be the other man. Throw him in the ditch. Let him fight him before he gets to me.
17th Winston Cup battle of the season. It's here at Pocono, Pennsylvania. Earnhardt leading, Irvin second, Petty third. And just behind them, Sterling Marlin in 4th. Schrader is in 5th. Morgan Shepherd having a handful right there with the blue car. That's Bobby Labonte and Brett Bodine in the green machine of Kenny Bernstein, taking a look on the inside, then pulls back into position. Right in front of Rusty Wallace.
Again, they go in that corner. We just watched them. They downshift and just stand on the brake to get the car slowed down. Then they got to climb. See that little hill they come up? They got to actually climb a hill up off of that corner. Really works the car down this straightaway here.
22 in 8th position, 26. That's Bodine in 9th and Rusty Wallace back there in 10th. Running just behind them in the 11th position should be Jeff Bodine. We'll be back with more of the action at Pocono, Pennsylvania in the Miller 500 in a moment.
Tonight.
I want her out of here. Today.
Perry Mason, primetime movie mysteries on TBS. A ruthless newsman becomes headline news in the obituaries, and Perry's hustling to get the scoop.
Stay away from me, Mr. Mason.
You are way out of line, mister, and you can't prove any of this.
I'm
afraid I can.
Watch Perry Mason, primetime movie mysteries. 7 Eastern tonight on TBS.
What I've heard is beneath contempt.
One of these engines was filled with Castrol Syntec, a synthetic oil, the rest with conventional oils. They were then drained and started without oil to prove a point. You see, Syntec has a unique molecular structure that bonds to engine parts. Lab tests show it leaves a layer of protection far stronger than conventional oil. And if Syntec protects this well now, imagine if you leave it in. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't.
For a limited time, your family can get on a Yamaha water vehicle for as little as $4 a day, thanks to our special financing offer. At just $4 a day, it's a pretty hot deal. Go for it at your Yamaha water vehicles dealer.
Every year, millions of people buy Moen faucets because they work so well.
Well, I like the way it looks.
And because they last so long.
It's got style.
Then there's the lifetime limited warranty against leaks and drips.
It looks great.
Like I said, buy it for looks, buy it for life. Moen.
Welcome back to Pocono International Raceway in Pocono, Pennsylvania. You're looking at today's Miller Genuine Draft 500. Rick Benjamin along in the STP Pit Communications Center here on TBS. Great to have you with us today. Some outstanding competition in this event so far, and we're going to bring it to you, of course, here on TBS all afternoon. This is quite a weekend at Pocono International Raceway for many reasons. They're marking their 20th anniversary of Winston Cup stock car racing here this summer. The sponsor of that very first event was Purolator. They're involved today. They sponsor car number 7, the car that's being driven by Jimmy Hensley now. A little while ago, the president of Pocono Raceway, Joe Mattioli, talked with the president of Purolator about their ongoing relationship these past 2 decades.
You know, Roman, 20 years ago, Purelator had the confidence in Pocono to sponsor our first 500-mile race. And I just wanted to thank you folks for having that confidence way back then.
Well, we had the confidence then. We got the confidence today. We're glad to be here, and we appreciate the invitation.
Well, we're going to have a big thank you for you and for all the fans and sponsors, the Mountain Magic Jamboree. And it's going to be August 13th to the 22nd. It's going to be a big party celebrating our 20th anniversary. I hope you can come back for that.
I'd like to come back, and I know it's going to be a great party. What a great idea.
Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
Joe Mattioli, the president of Pocono International Raceway, and Roman Baruta, the CEO of Purelator Corporation. That's coming up in August. There'll be some country entertainers here to put on that big show, the Mountain Magic Jamboree, here at Pocono International Raceway.
Well, you can't be too happy right now. Jimmy Hensley's car, which qualified so well, is backed up into 30th position. It had a really good start today, but it's not holding up at the present time. Car number 7, qualified 6th, well back in 30th spot. That old name is a great name in racing, however. Remember it from days with David Pearson, and you ran under that too, didn't you?
Yeah, I won a race up at Pocono and Purelator car. Really ran
1980.
good. 1980. Yeah.
Let's go back to the front. Up in front as they continue to battle, Earnhardt there with Kyle Petty in second spot and Ernie Irvan in third. We're coming around to complete lap number 30 this time, and there you see Kyle, who dominated here in June, rolling it up in this Miller Genuine Draft. Got about 12 car lengths to Kyle Petty, and he has been just as quick as anything here today. I can't think of anything faster than that Kyle Petty car thus far in the race, Neil.
Kenny came up to the field real quick. He caught the 4 car, was able to drive right around him, and he closed in on Earnhardt just a minute ago. Got within 2 car lengths, and he either slipped a little bit or Dale picked the pace up. It's hard to tell, but he came up on Earnhardt so quick I thought he was going to pass him, and now Dale's got just a little bit of running room.
Kyle Petty currently 6 in points. He's come from 19th position as we complete the first 30 laps. Update on Mark Martin. He's running as fast as the leaders now. He's 16 seconds from being lapped. He's well back on the end of the field after the work they did on that car.
Sometimes you can control the pace of the lead of a race here when you got a transmission where you're making a shift. As you come off this 4th turn here and go down the front straightaway, if you do it like you're supposed to, they're going up that short chute, turn 3, excuse me, you shift that thing down the front straightaway. If you stretch it a little bit further, turn it some more RPM, you can run the car harder, but you might pay that price. It looks like Dale's picked the pace up just a little bit.
Stabilized in front with Earnhardt first, Kyle Petty in second. Early in the going. Whoa! See that number 4, Ernie Irvan, slipping and sliding as it came off that 4th turn and down the straightaway. And Earnhardt draws away again.
Yeah, right that area there is where they make the shift into 4th gear. You can run it a little bit further and pick up your lap times, but you're hammering the motor pretty hard. But these guys are got engines, these things that they can abuse them pretty tough all day long.
Earnhardt comes in here leading Jarrett by 171 points in the standings. Rusty Wallace by some 250 points as he goes for his 6th Winston Cup championship. He gave away 80 points last week with a poor performance at the New Hampshire International Speedway, and he's making amends right now if he can keep this running. Look at that margin by which he is again leading out here.
Yeah, sometimes we saw the 4 car get loose just a minute ago. When you get to racing each other, you take the air off each other's car. The 2 of them together might be slowing each other down a little bit. That draft is effective down the front straightaway, but they might hurt each other in the corner because Earnhardt's stretching it out.
If you're just joining us here at Pocono International Raceway, Ken Schrader set on the pole, new track record at 162 miles an hour. But from the outset, we've seen some great running being done by Ernie Irvan for some time. Then Earnhardt took the lead, but Kyle Petty from 19th position has been one of the big stories here up to 2nd spot. Riding with Derek Cope for just a moment now. Derek having a pretty good run. He's in 20th position as we watch these pictures live out of the Cale Yarborough number 98.
Yeah, we saw him make that shift we talked about over in the 4th and then down in 1st turn, shifter up to 3rd. Driver working a little bit. You just don't normally see that on a round track. There's that big air hose going. We're blowing some cool air on it. It's still pretty steamy outside.
He hasn't got an elephant in there for a co-driver.
No. There he is right behind Bill Elliott. I really thought Bill and his team were ready for this weekend and qualified so well. Got a long day ahead of them. They might be able to get that thing sorted out. They got plenty of time to do it.
They qualified outside of the front row. Down to the inside moves car number 68, trying to get itself a little running room here. Greg Sachs, who's taken over in the ride that Bobby Hamilton had earlier in the season, finding his way up through traffic. Greg Sachs had that awful wreck here a few years ago. He's running in 22nd position for the moment. He and Lake Speed getting all tangled up out of here in turn number 1. A bad one from which he walked away. There you see the Bobby Allison car, the Meineke car. Jimmy Spencer wanted to qualify so well, and it didn't work out quite like they had hoped. Car number 12, Spencer further back. Let's get a report quickly on Mark Martin's condition. Remember, he was as stout as anything in the first 10 laps, and then all of a sudden was on pit road. Randy, what's the story now on car number 6?
Guys, of the thousands and thousands of miles these guys drive every year, Mark Martin is relating it back to Bristol a year ago. That's what the car feels like. They've conversed about it. They think possibly floats in the carburetor, maybe even a fuel filter. But as of that, it's a guess. They just don't know yet.
At lap 34, some of the leaders coming on pit road. Ernie Irvin is there. Kyle Petty is there. Sterling Marlin, Brett Bodine, Rusty Wallace. Here's Jeff Bodine on pit road. Earnhardt stays out. This is at lap 34.
Well, Ken, what they got to be careful here, these guys had to pit. There were several cars that came on lap 12. What they don't need now is a caution flag to come out while they're in pit until that other sequence comes in.
Randy Penburton is in the pit of Ernie Irvin. There's Ernie Irvin away
for
at
the
19.
42 car. 4-car, little trouble getting out for Ernie Irvin. There was a left rear fender bent in on Ernie's car, so they pulled that away. Evidently, he brushed the wall a little while ago.
20 seconds on Ernie Irvin coming out, and a 19.6 is being recorded on, let's see, which car? 42, Kyle Petty. Here's Earnhardt.
There's Earnhardt coming down pit road. He went one lap longer than the rest of the guys. You can't give up those new tires. You had to come right on in. Schrader's coming in right behind him.
Bobby Labonte will take the lead. Here's Dick Berggren.
Dale Earnhardt is in for his scheduled pit stop. He's going to take on 4 tires, a complete load of fuel. They are not going to adjust anything at all on this race car. The only thing Earnhardt has complained about since this race began, fumes inside the cockpit emanating from the transmission. He has turned on a small fan inside the car. That has resolved the problem. Outside tires on, inside tires on. Good stop for Earnhardt, a little over 20 seconds.
Yeah, they got that 65-mile-an-hour speed limit today enforcing on pit road, so it looks like they're coming in real slow and out. But that fan he turned on there, Dick Berggren, will pump a little bit of cool, fresh air in there and maybe get rid of some of those fumes.
Bobby Labonte now leads. Michael Waltrip comes to second. Hut Strickland third. Dale Jarrett fourth. And Harry Gant is fifth as they make some pit stops under green at Pocono.
If you depend on your truck to last, here's news you should never forget. Of all the Chevy trucks built in the last 10 years, over 98% are still going strong. That's more than Ford, more than Toyota, more than Nissan. Over the years, no other truck is that dependable, foreign or domestic. Only Chevrolet, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Red balls of fire! You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, what a thrill. Driven at the razor, red balls of fire.
Bosch Platinum, the ultimate spark plug.
Wouldn't it be great if you were stranded on a desert island with a beautiful woman named Betty? Cool. And while scouting the island, you were suddenly surrounded by them. You! But then, they noticed your shoes. You! Great one! Ooga booga! So they gave you gifts. Keystone, Keystone Light, and Keystone Dry. Specially lined for really smooth. Bottle beer taste, they can! Sweet and time! Wouldn't that be great?
Next fantasy, next fantasy!
He doesn't like power breakfast. He'll take a pass on poetry. Deep down, he's a grown-up Boy Scout. Way grown. He likes feeling clean and cool and very male. And he knows how to get there. Where have you guys been? Brute. Men are back.
Well, Michael Waltrip has the economy magic running for him today. After qualifying 16th, he's currently the leader, and he's working lap 38.
Ken, he was one of the cars that pitted at about lap 12 when we had that first caution. So he's going to be able to stretch it for quite a way here before he has to go in.
Well, Michael Waltrip had his best finish here back in 1988 with a second place running, and maybe he can improve on that by one today. Michael Waltrip for the moment leading with Hunt Strickland being shown second, Harry Gant third, and we see Rick Wilson fourth with Darrell Waltrip currently fifth. Take a look in the monitor here of what happened as car 18 was getting ready to pit a few moments ago.
Yeah, Harry Gant had pitted and the 18 hadn't, and he was wanting to come in pit road, and Harry Gant ran right up on the back of him, and Jarrett got all sideways. Did a good job not to turn the car around on the front straightaway.
Jarrett is back with the program on the track. He has made his pit stop, rejoining the field and trying to clamber back up through the standings. A quick note from Johnny Hayes.
Ken, one of the biggest races on pit road is for gasoline. I want you to look at these guys. This is one of the biggest lines. People keep running in. The reason they have to do that, if another caution comes out, they got to make sure they get those cars full of gas. So this is one of the best races on the track.
That Dale Jarrett car that you saw on the track was running in the 28th position after that altercation coming into the pits. Good piece of driving by Dale Jarrett, saved it.
Ken, I think Johnny was touching on, they limit how many gas cans you can have. If that wasn't the case, everybody take 10 or 20 cans in there and keep it all in the pits. You have to dump the fuel out, go back and bring it back to the pits every time you stop. So it's got those guys really running back and forth.
That's a job a lot of folks look for on Sunday, is to get out and work with a team, and some of those smaller teams are always looking for additional help. You don't get to see much of the race, but you're part of the team.
That's usually the first job you'll get, the one nobody else wants.
Watching Ernie Urban in car number 4. As he slugs it out, he's back to 20th position. Earnhardt 21st, as they're beginning to mosey back through the field and wait for some of those cars that pitted on lap 12. Only one caution thus far, and it was the back portion of the field that pitted. None of those leaders, none of those top cars came in that lap 12 situation.
Yeah, but out of all of our leaders that did pit, right here you see Kyle Petty. There comes the orange car of Irvin. There comes the black car of Earnhardt. After the shuffle's over, if this thing continues to go green and we have the stops for the other guys, it's going to be that green and black car, the orange car back to Earnhardt, 1, 2, 3 after the normal set of stops is over.
Kyle Petty's number 42, clipping him off. He's in 17th position. Michael Waltrip leading, Strickland second, Gant, Darrell Waltrip, Wilson, Dahlin back to top 6, Bill Elliott up to 7th, and that car seems to be ailing.
When I see that car listed as 17th, that tells me 16 guys pitted on that first caution because the ones that stayed out. There comes the 30 car down pit road. He was leading the race.
And this will move Hut Strickland into the lead in the second Junior Johnson car. Here's the Pennzoil car, the Pontiac. And we got a report from Dick Berggren on the site.
Well, Ken, they say the car is running reasonably well. The only change they're going to make on this pit stop, besides the 4 tires, they put a little extra air in the right front tire to try to tighten the car up a little bit. They don't have stagger to work with anymore, so they're using air pressure. Michael Waltrip's best finish this year, 16th. Looking at better than this afternoon. 22-second pit stop.
I'll tell you how critical fuel is here. You'll see them fill it up, and then that guy pull the can off, and just before that driver leaves, he'll give it one more shot. They want to make sure that thing is completely topped off. You run out here, you're in trouble.
From the Heilig-Myers car as it comes back out after its pit stop, gets back into the action. Car number 90 with Bobby Hillen, who's been running in the 13th position. Moseys down pit road, comes back out 65 miles an hour. You're looking at Bobby Hillen here as he picks up speed and goes with the Heilig-Myers car into turn number 1.
I saw the 7 car. We see Bobby going in. Look at the gear shift jumping. It's 7 car. I saw him slowing down the front straightaway. I don't think it's fuel. I think the engine's giving up. It sounded really rattly when he came by here.
Well, he'd rattled everybody's cage with a very good qualifying run that put him on the outside of row 3. But something sure seems amiss for the moment. Dick Trickle scoots by him on the outside. Bad break with the former Winston Cup Rookie of the Year, Jimmy Hensley, and what was the Kawicki Racing Team car.
Ken, we monitored his radio, and he said he has an ignition problem, so the ignition's breaking up. They'll have to come on pit road and see if each one of these cars has dual ignitions. They'll set him on pit road, turn the switch off, change all the ignition, and see if he can get going again.
Well, Strickland pulled in. Gant inherited the lead, and that's only the 4th time this year that Harry has had an opportunity to be out in front in car number 33. You see him going down that main straightaway. Harry Gant, and right behind him is the number 90. The Heilig-Myers car coming along. And We'll be back with more as they continue to sort them out here this afternoon with 43 laps complete in the Miller Genuine Draft 500.
Our favorite movie summer edition 93, Thursday night.
It's the 70s.
Our favorite rocker, Roger Daltrey, hosts Tommy.
God forbid they're coming back.
Thursday on TNT.
Miller Genuine Draft Rusty Wallace stock car. See it. Hear it. Feel it. Catch it, if you can.
Bye, Mom. Bye, Rusty.
For most people in the world, the intense power of the F-16 is thousands of feet above. For you, it's a phone call away. The Air Force Reserve, a great way to serve.
One of these engines was filled with Castrol Syntec, a synthetic oil, the rest with conventional oils. They were then drained and started without oil to prove a point. You see, Syntec has a unique molecular structure that bonds to engine parts. Lab tests show it leaves a layer of protection far stronger than conventional oil. And if Syntec protects this well now, imagine if you leave it in. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't.
Every lap tests the mettle of a NASCAR crew chief, which is why the winning crew chiefs of Bill Elliott, Darrell Waltrip, Sterling Marlin, and Jeff Bodine rely on Craftsman hand tools. When seconds count, they haven't got time for second best. 1,600 Craftsman hand tools. Made in America, guaranteed forever. The official tools of NASCAR. Only at Sears.
From the Pocono International Speedway, aerials today provided by Ray Bestis, the best in brakes. Watching the Harry Gant car that had been leading, and now watching the number 90, which has made up a lap. Hut Strickland, that's Bobby Hillen's car. Hut Strickland has been brought in under a consultation flag, and the hood is up on car number 27 that had been running in second spot. Let's take a lap right here in the Heilig Myers car number 90 with Bobby Hillen, and bring Neil Bond in to tell you about this track where he won back in 1980.
Well, you can see how flat it is. He just went across off the tunnel right there. Excuse me, went across turn one. He's headed down this 2,700-foot straightaway going to the tunnel. Watch how flat this looks. You go down in here, you got a really an abrupt left-hand turn right here. Get close down on the apron. Watch how the car flies out the wall. I promise you, he's not driving it out here. It just sails out there, almost gets in the wall. A little short straightaway. This is the lowest RPM, lowest speed part of the track. Flat going in turn 3, and I mean flat. 6 degrees, it feels like the opposite angle when you go in there in the race car. And that long straightaway, 3,700 feet front straightaway.
Back in the lead lap, running in 31st position, Bobby Hillen. Car rocking and shaking down this main straightaway at 190 miles an hour. The Strickland pit stop was 1 minute 32 seconds. Black flag was out. There was considerable smoke coming from his car. He is back now on the track.
It looked like it was the left front wheel area where the smoke was at. So when they changed all 4 tires, they left the left front off to get on and try to find out where the problem was on the 27 car. I don't know what it was, but it kept them in a long time.
Now Harry Gant continues to lead. Has not pitted since that 12th lap situation. Now they've got him back behind the wall. The 27 Strickland's car, after being out here for just a lap, comes right back in again. Boy, they're not having any luck today with the Junior Johnson team. And now 24 is off the pace. Here comes Jeff Gordon slowing down.
I almost wonder if he went too far. I don't know if he's pitted yet or not.
Yeah,
I think
he did pit. Remember, we saw him come in. We were a little worried he was going too fast. He hit the brakes.
Yeah, he did earlier, but he's got some kind of a problem because he's coming in too slow right now.
Pitted back on lap 37, and here he is again on lap 48, coming down pit road. 21-year-old Pittsboro, Indiana native, Jeff Gordon.
See what
Dick Berggren there.
Hut Strickland, what's wrong with the car?
Dick, I'm not really for sure. We had I think a seal go out in the back of the transmission or something there. It was leaking rear end grease real bad.
Well, it must have been leaking a lot of it because there was a fire under the car just a few moments ago. The crew is now underneath addressing the problem, trying to fix it so Hutt can return to the race.
Let's go back to the 24 car quickly. Out on pit road, they're working on Jeff Gordon in that DuPont car, trying to get it straightened around. There's the report on Hut Strickland, as a couple of serious contenders here today are having their problems. Hood up, and right behind them you see Wally Dallenbach Jr. making a pit stop and coming on again.
Yeah, that's a shame. The 24 car, Gordon, has been strong all season long. And I see him waving to Jeff. He said, hey man, cut her off. We're going to the garage. When they turn that motor, what happens? You cut it off and they spin it over to sound like a pea thrasher running. Here comes Elliott down pit road. He was in third place. Right now he's coming in down pits.
That Dallenbach car had been shown up to fifth with these pit stops. First to second, 70 seconds. Getting a time now on car number 11, Bill Elliott on pit road. Harry Gant continuing to lead. Darrell Waltrip finds himself for the moment in second place. Kyle Petty to third, Ernie Irvin fourth, Earnhardt fifth as the shakeout continues with this field cut in half. Some of them pitted at lap 12. Elliott coming out in 20, a little over 20 seconds. Call it 20.5 as Bill Elliott comes in again. The speed limit on pit road, 65 miles an hour, but there's no speed limit around this 2.5-mile track. Harry Gant onto pit road. He has led over the past 10 laps, and now number 33 comes in.
Here comes, as he comes in, the 17 car will lead this lap. He stayed out.
Darrell Waltrip picks up 5 bonus points. Here's Dick Burkert.
This was exactly as planned, Ken Squire. They wanted to go to lap 50. Recall that Gant was among several competitors who pitted early in this event. So this is his second standard pit stop. Gant now jazzing the engine, trying to persuade his crew to hurry up, and off he goes. 21:41 for Harry Gant.
Good stop on Harry Gant, and he gets back into this thing. We'll see what he's got for position in just a moment.
Ken, you don't have to be a genius to figure out when they wanted to go to lap 50. If you can work at 50, 100, 150, they want to get it to where they got it in even sequences. This is a 200-lap race. If he can stretch it that far every time, he can make one last pit stop than most of the rest of these teams, if it goes green.
If it goes green.
But, I mean, you got to approach it with that angle, and if it doesn't, then you change your game plan.
Randy Pemberton.
Well, guys, just a couple of updates down here. Jeff Gordon has just gone behind the wall. Likewise for Jimmy Hensley. As far as Jeff Gordon's problem, they thought it was an ignition. It turned out to be a cylinder. He's done for the day.
Darrell Waltrip, who has led a couple of laps, now comes in and makes his pit stop. This will put Kyle Petty into the lead. Move Ernie Irvin and Earnhardt up. Boy, it's not been a good time for Darrell Waltrip. He lost an engine in qualifying. Had one come unglued. Makes a pretty good stop here. Had to re-qualify.
Yeah, I walked by and saw him that morning. He said, so far I've used 2 gallons of gas and 4 gallons of oil. They didn't get to practice much. Had to put some motors in the car, but I'm not surprised to see him go the longest distance. He's the last man out. He went further than anyone. He's good at doing it. He's easy with that throttle, works on that mileage himself from that seat. He usually can go further than anyone.
So Darrell Waltrip, former winner of this race, car number 17, brings the Western Auto car back to speed at lap 51 is where he made his pit stop. Kyle Petty takes first, Irvin second, Earnhardt third, Marlin fourth, Rusty Wallace fifth unofficially, with 51 laps down of 200 to be run at Pocono, Pennsylvania.
When 280 seemed out of reach, it's Joe Amato and Autolite who punch it. The wall goes to 290. Connie Coletta and Autolite smash it. 300, the barrier. Kenny Bernstein and Autolite shatter it. Autolite and the Record Breakers. Wow, I feel good. We feel pretty good about that.
At Long John's, get what you want any way you want it. From combo platters to baked meals, from value packs to $1.99 specials.
You can get your win anytime. Go fish. Long John Silver's.
Go for one of our 3 great $1.99 specials. And don't forget to add a piece.
Welcome back to Pocono International Raceway, Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Today's Miller Genuine Draft 500 underway here at Pocono. Good to have you with us on TBS. I want to show you something. This is the brand new Holley 4-barrel carburetor that was on Mark Martin's car at the start of today's race. They thought this was the culprit, why Martin was going backwards and why the car felt as though, in Randy Pemberton's words, it had convulsions. Well, they took this one off, slapped the new Holley on during a pit stop. It wasn't the problem. Now they want this carburetor back. It's full of fuel at this point. They may put it back on the car. They now think it's a coil or an ignition wire causing problems in the number 6 car.
Well, we just saw the 6 car go a lap down to Kyle Petty. Here's Kyle in the 42, and right behind him, Mark Martin back in 30th position. 29 cars remain in the lead lap. This at lap 55 of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 here today.
When you have a problem like the 6 car had, they just start working on the easiest things they can find, and that was the easiest thing to fix. Now they got to get into the electrical part of it.
Battle for 7. Here you see Jeff Bodine and Brett Bodine, the brothers from Chemung, New York, having their own war, and right behind them in 8th position it is Dale Jarrett.
Jarrett's having a tremendous season. He's 2nd in points, made a big gain on Earnhardt.
Make that 9th on Jarrett, 7th, 8th, and 9th, and there's the Napa running order through the field after 54 of 200 laps.
Here's Brett Bodine trying to make a run on his brother across that tunnel. He drove right up behind him. Now he makes that move to the inside.
It's a very important track for Brett Bodine. This is where he met his wife. Back here racing the Race of Champions, the modified days, over there in the 3/4 mile track. Did you ever run that 3/4 mile?
Yeah, but I was supposed to be on the big one when I did. There's Bodine. It looked like Brett. There's Bodine passing Bodine. I can't miss him on this one. But Jarrett is right behind, and I just fixed to say that's a perfect opportunity to make it 3 wide, and here comes somebody wanting to try 4. When you catch 2 people side by side, you can fly by both of them.
That's just what Dale Jarrett did. Dale Jarrett screams down to the inside, knocks off both Bodines. That'll put Dale up to 7th position.
That's a good move right there. When you draft in 1 car, you get a little bit of a pull. When the 2 of them get side by side, it's a free ride. It's like nothing out in front of you. You just sail right by both of them.
So Dave Marcus right there with him, still out there giving it his very best. Here's Johnny Hayes.
Ken, Jimmy Hensley just pulled in, had problems with his car, but the real story is that Jimmy had 10 sets of tires mounted. He made 3 more laps before he pulled in. By the time he pulled in, his crew had given away all 10 sets of tires. That may be the story in the race today.
Tough one for Jimmy Hensley, making a little money on the tires. Once again, we have a leadership change. Earnhardt back in front, Ernie Irvin to 2nd. They continue to struggle out there. That's a battle, correction, for 2nd spot. Kyle Petty continues to lead. This is in 2nd. Correct then.
Yeah, Kyle's, after they made that stop a while ago, when they made that stop, Kyle just, I don't know if they got down pit road that's good or out or whatever. I don't think they beat him that much on pit road, but when he came out, he had a tremendous lead. Earnhardt's been able to pass the 4 car in the last 2 laps.
5-second advantage for Kyle Petty over this battle for 2nd place.
There's a good indication. He's about a gear shift away. We saw Irvin's car earlier in the race get a little bit loose after he ran a few laps. They said he actually bounced the car off the wall a time or 2. I'm sure they made an adjustment on that pit stop, but see if the thing stays under him this time.
9 lead changes among 8 drivers thus far in the race. 58 laps complete. Only 1 caution thus far. That came early. Had a spinner out here that brought out just a very brief 3-lap caution period when Clay Young couldn't find the bite on his car out of Smyrna, Georgia. Other than that, it has been caution-free and a good race.
Ken, when we're watching this race here, I'm thinking about Kyle Petty have that big lead we were talking about. And Randy Pemberton told us earlier that this car changed springs. They didn't just put it up on 4 jack stands, and I doubt everybody in the pits believes that. Let me tell you, Robin Pemberton, who is Randy's brother, surely wouldn't lie to his brother. You know he changed all them springs and worked on that car, didn't he? They wouldn't lie to us.
Here's Dick Berggren.
I don't think he lied either, Neil Bonnet. They definitely were working on that car all week long here, changed things around considerably. But here's the interesting part of what their strategy is. Pemberton, this is Robin Pemberton now, said that they were not the fastest car here. But they really weren't worried about that because, you see, Kyle Petty is able to cut lap after lap after lap at exactly the same lap time. And that's the strategy. That's what they were trying to do. They say other guys can go fast for a lap or two. We'll go the same speed every lap, and we're going to beat them.
Let's take a look at the interval. There's the 42 car, and here comes your battle for second spot. And once again, they even it up. Irvin to the inside, Earnhardt high.
Irvin's got that inside line when they go down in turn 1 down here. He'll be able to get that inside away from Earnhardt on that good flat surface down in there. Earnhardt's going to have to drive in behind him.
You know, actually, that lead car of Kyle Petty seems to be drawing away once again. Kyle Petty in the Mellow Yellow Grand Prix at Pontiac is up to 5 9/10 of a second, and the interval between the third place car, Earnhardt, and the fourth place car, which would be Rusty Wallace, that stands at about 7 seconds now.
Well, I can believe that Kyle's pulling away. I think he just in brute power is getting around the racetrack better, but he's also got these 2 cars here, the yellow number 4, the black number 3, switching the lead about every 2 laps. Every time they do that, they slow their total lap times down, so Kyle's taking advantage of that. He's checking out on them.
Well, he'd like to check out and take this one home. He's been in this 500 12 previous times, and his best finish in the July race has always been 7th. He was there in 80, 85, and last year. Of course, he came here in June, and he steamrolled the field. And that's what he's trying to do right now as he continues to try to build on a lead. Kyle Petty looking for his 8th Winston Cup victory. If he can keep the Felix Sabetta's car number 42 wound up as it is right now.
He stands a real good chance of improving on his finishing position the way this thing's going. Good runs all day.
Putting a lap on Kenny Bouchard in the 85. He used to do a lot of running in Winston Cup competition. Kenny Bouchard beat out Ernie Irvin for Rookie of the Year back in the mid-'80s. Good to see him back here. Here's Irvin in that second spot. Ernie Irvin, 10th in point standings, but that's not where he wants to be. Been a very frustrating year.
It has been. You know, our car's competitive every week, and I think we have the potential to win or run for the championship, and little things keep getting in our way, whether we break a motor, whether we get in an accident. Just the little things. It's hard to put 30 races together. You have to actually put about 28 together and have 2 bad ones, and you know, we've already had about 6 or 7 DNFs this year. We're still 10th in the points, and it'll be hard to catch up. But, you know, you got to keep learning from your mistakes and trying to improve on them, and that's all we can do.
There you see Ernie Irvin, who stays in second. Earnhardt is in third. And at the moment, Rusty Wallace is pulling up into fourth with Sterling Marlin fifth, Schrader sixth, Dale Jarrett seventh, Brett Bodine eighth, Jeff Bodine ninth, and Harry Ganton 10th.
Again, here we are with Rusty Wallace. He won last week up in New Hampshire. He started the season with 4 big wins, and then they just had a sinking spell, had a lot of troubles, accidents and everything. He said he needed something to get his team back on track. They win last week, and here he is right up in 4th place with a good run.
And that's from run from 18th position at the start for Rusty Wallace in that Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac Grand Prix. His 10th go here at Pocono, Pennsylvania, making a pretty good run. He's 13 and 9, call it 14 seconds behind that leader, Kyle Petty, at the present time. Schrader right there with him. Schrader sat on the pole with a new track record at 162 miles an hour, if you're just joining us. Rusty Wallace has moved that Pontiac around that Chevy here.
While they're battling right here, Schrader, he's making the move around the 2 car. He's able to clear right here. We've got Dick Berggren down in Earnhardt's pit with the report. Dick Berggren?
Well, Neil Bonnet, there's a potential electrical problem going on in Dale Earnhardt's car. They started to begin the fix on that thing by turning off all the fans in the car. Then they turned off the tach, and right now they're charging another battery just in case. Richard Childress says the car is running just fine, but they don't do this kind of thing when there's absolutely no problem and no threat.
No, there's got to be a problem. If you have to mess with that battery, you've got a problem just locating it and getting it changed. And physically getting the thing replaced. So if they have that kind of problem, they're going to be in trouble. We also heard Earnhardt say that he had a lot of fumes. He had to turn on some fans in there that he normally doesn't run, so he might be draining that battery real hard also.
1987 champion of this event when he defeated Alan Kulwicki and Buddy Baker. Here is Earnhardt striving for that 58th win, trying to get closer to that 6th championship. Let's go battle in 4th and 5th. Here's Schrader, and there's Wallace, and Schrader seems to have the drop on him for the moment and look a little further back. 5th place in jeopardy. Here comes Dale Jarrett.
Look at Rusty's car wiggle the tail a little bit over that tunnel turn, and the minute that tail jumps out right there off that corner, somebody's going to drive up under you. Jarrett was ready, made that move.
Dale Jarrett looking for win number 3 in his 7th start at Pocono, putting on a good show right here. Dale Jarrett with the Joe Gibbs Interstate Batteries car climbing up through the field to see how far he gets up there and how he fares as the race continues. Stay with us here at Pocono, the Miller Genuine Draft 500.
If you're looking into faucets, Peerless means plenty. America's leading do-it-yourself faucet. In hundreds of styles and finishes. All made with solid brass valve construction. And all warranty for as long as you own your home. The best made, best back do-it-yourself faucets in America. That's what Peerless means.
Inside your smooth-running engine is a torture chamber. And under these grueling conditions, only one leading motor oil in every grade meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown. Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol. After all, why make things tougher on your engine? Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Diamond Crystal knows there's nothing like pure, clear water. That's why Diamond Crystal makes some of the most advanced water softener salts you can buy. Make your water special with Diamond Crystal.
You about finished? How's it going? Great. We have a lot of good mechanics that shop at AutoZone. Well, you also have a lot of people who just want to save some money by doing a simple job themselves, like changing their oil or putting in new plugs. They just want to come in, get what they need, and get out. Well, at AutoZone, we have parts for just about every car made. So if you know what you want, great. But if you're not quite sure about something, no problem. We'll help. After all, that's what we're here for.
Back at Pocono International Raceway on TBS. Great to have you with us today for the Miller Genuine Draft 500. Your leader, Kyle Petty, working on lap 68 of 200 this afternoon here in Pennsylvania. Beautiful afternoon for racing. You know, a lot of racing fans are here today. A few have a chance to win a cool $1 million. Very special interest in this race because of that $1 million prize. The $1 million possibility, part of a Pocono Raceway promotion. It's called the Champion Sparkplug Mountain Magic Sweepstakes. Now, earlier today, 3 finalists picked race car numbers at random. The finalists, Leslie Dare of Morgan, Texas, Janet Stagner of Johnson City, Tennessee, and Shirley McKee of Atlanta, Pennsylvania. Of those 3 folks, the one whose car finishes best in the race wins a new Winnebago motorhome. The second finisher wins a Caribbean cruise. The third gets a course at Fast Track Driving School, but there's a long shot in all this. If one of these 3 contestants randomly selected the cars that finished first, second, and third today, no particular order, that person could win $1 million. So it's a very good bet that Mr. Dare, Stagner, and Shirley McKee all are on pins and needles as they watch the action here this afternoon at Pocono, Pennsylvania.
Thanks, Rick. On pins and needles, the Kyle Petty fans as he continues to draw away here. Pit stops are beginning. We just saw the Jeff Bodine car slip onto pit road, take on fuel. We are at lap 68 of 200 to be run. Kyle Petty continuing to lead with Ernie Irvin second. Earnhardt third, Dale Jarrett fourth, Ken Schrader fifth, Rusty Wallace sixth, Harry Gant seventh, Michael Waldron eighth, followed by Shepard. And here comes Ernie Irvin onto pit road. Ernie Irvin brings the number 4 car in second place down for its pit stop. Randy Pepperton standing by, second place car.
Well, Tony Glover and the crew ready to go to work. Originally, they were going to pit with Kyle Petty, and Kyle is going to come down pit road, hopefully on lap 72. But I think what they're trying to do is possibly get a couple of laps on some fresh tires. They had that 6-7 second gap behind Kyle that they want to close up. So they're going to sacrifice the extra fuel that they could get, and they're going to try and get the fresh tires on and maybe get some clean air out there. Cars down and away. Good pit stop for the 4th.
Excellent pit stop. And Wallace is also on pit road. He'd been running 6. They got him cranked, and he's gone in 19 seconds. Great stop by that Ernie Irvan team.
Irvan had a good stop. That 2 always has a good stop. Pretty evenly matched right there. Earnhardt's coming down pit road right now. That's the first, second has been his placement, and now Earnhardt's coming down pit road. This is your 3rd place. Well, actually, you're taking the lead when they pitted.
So here's Irvan in. Derek Cope has pitted his car. He's come back out. By the way, Jeff Gordon is back out many laps down, 20 down, running on 6 cylinders. Here's Dick Berggren.
Earnhardt is in. They were going to wait another 8 laps before making this stop, but when Ernie Irvan came in, they decided, let's go now. Eddie Petrie on the right front there. Jack Mann is David Smith. Will Lind is changing the right rear tires. This is one of the best pit crews in all stock car racing. They'll get it done in a big hurry. Almost. Not the best pit stop, 20.88.
We had it at 26, 20.8. That's either...
Pretty close right there.
70 laps. That was at lap 70. Ted Musgrave pitting just behind him in the car number 55.
The key there, Ken, is when you see someone else make that stop, you've got to go with tires. There's Kyle Petty coming down pit road. He's the leader.
Kyle Petty is in. Gets on the brakes and get it. Whoa. Randy waiting for him there.
They must have put a stop on him that other time because he came out leading after all that shuffle on the caution. So see how good they get him out this time.
Randy?
Well, Kyle's in. Pretty good stop so far by Kyle. He comes in, he hits his mark just right. The jack is up on the right side. Right side tires already on. Jack goes down. They're coming around on the left side. Now, Ernie Irvan's crew, they whipped on a pretty good stop, so Kyle needs to do the same thing here. Robin Pemberton on the left front. Left front top, right rear. That's an excellent stop there as well.
Great stop. 19.3, and he's away. There was a penalty on the Musgrave car, number 55, which had been running in 12. Too fast on pit road for Ted Musgrave. We're going to hear a lot more about Musgrave in days to come, we believe. Here is Morgan Shepherd, the 21 car on pit road. Shepherd's having a good day, being shown in 7th when this series of pit stops began.
Here's Lynn Wood on the left front. Good stop for those guys. There's 18.
Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, he had taken the lead. When the other set guy stopped it, I think that had put him, I think he led a lap. If he did, that's that 5 bonus points he was needing.
And he got them. He did get them. Dale Jarrett on pit road for Joe Gibbs, the Interstate Battery car.
Ricky Rudd coming down pit road also while they're changing his car.
Rudd shown 5th in the standings. With all of this going on, he'd actually be 4th. Petty has made his pit stop.
Good stop right there. 18.8. That's quick.
Rick Mast running very slow on the track in car number 1. Something to miss here for Rick Mast. Started out 29th today.
The question here, can he make it back? He's going to stop in 3 and 4. And keep in mind now, we just saw the leaders stop, and those guys, Waltrip and Gann, and those guys have not stopped. This is going to really throw a shuffle in things if the caution comes out. And I don't believe Mast can make it back in.
Here he is around the bottom of turns 3 and 4. Rick Mast out of Rockbridge Baths, Virginia, running very slowly, trying to get it back on pit road.
It's the least bit downhill if he can make it just a little bit further around. Now he's going to pull it off in the grass. He's trying his best to get out of the way, but I think that there comes the caution out. Boy, is this going to be a scramble now with some of the guys not pitted.
Yellow is out. That changes the whole complexion of the race.
You got Gant, Elliott, Labonte did not pit. Those 3 guys for sure did not pit, and we've got to see what happens.
And Gant, Elliott, Labonte will be running 1, 2, 3 with Kyle Petty back in that 4th spot. Remember that we saw Harry Gant come in at lap 50. We're at lap 73 now to try to even those out. That yellow could hurt Rick Mast's teammate here a little. He wanted to get it all the way down. We'll have to wait and see what develops on car number 33. Caution is out. It comes at lap 73 showing Gant in front, Elliott in second, Bobby Labonte third, and then Kyle Petty in fourth, Darrell Waltrip fifth.
Well, they got the cars. Let's mention the 27 car. Hut Strickland is back out on the track. They fixed his problem. He's back out there.
Riding with the Trop Arctic camera car, giving us these pictures out of the Bojangles racing team. Cale Yarborough, Derek Cope. They started out well. They're still hanging in here at this point. Just check their standings as to where Derek Cope has been able to 23rd spot and still in the lead lap.
They're running just about as fast laps on the caution.
Let me tell you,
the flagman is trying to get them to bunch the field up. It was such a strung out mess with that shuffle. They're just now trying to get everybody lined up behind the pace car.
So they're running this main straightaway as fast as they were running under race conditions. They are under yellow. There you see the pace vehicle out there bringing them over the tunnel turn with Gant in front. Dave Marcus right there beside him in that 71 car. Just like to see Dave Marcus get one more win. All this trying, all these years. This is his 18th start here at Pocono, Pennsylvania. For car number 71, Dave Marcus. He had a fourth back in the 70s in this race. Only Waltrip has more laps at the Pocono International Raceway than Dave Marcus, car 71. Here's Johnny Hayes.
Ken, Jeff Gordon's had to park it for the day. We had a chance to talk to him. He's gone in to change clothes, lost a motor. Maybe we'll get to talk to him later.
All right. Bad break for Jeff Gordon, who's given us such a stout run this year. A rookie who's well up in the standings as we get here to this past the midpoint, 17th race of the season. We see Hut Strickland still out here. He's many laps down, getting back in. Gant is on pit road. Here's Harry Gant's number 33. Let's go to Dick Berggren. He is there now.
Well, Ken, there are a bunch of cars on pit road, but the important thing is that the cars that are on now are cars that did not pit before. So Harry Gant, who was right up in front, is just going to pick up his position at the tail end of the serial order. This really will not shuffle the deck too terribly much. It would have shuffled it considerably, however, if the leaders had pitted a second time.
But this puts him back in sync with the field rather than the way he wanted to be. So that stop by Rick Mast did not help Harry Gant that much in this battle. Now you see Strickland's car, and he is well down. He's like 17 laps off the pace. Was in for a considerable amount of time. That Jeff Gordon falling out, he was 7th in the points coming into today. That's going to hurt him considerably. Now you see, there's a fire on car number 75, Dick Trickle's car on pit road, under control. That'll kill his hopes for today.
That thing flashed back through the carburetor. For them to have the hood up, it was probably missing or something. And when it's doing it, it'll cough back and catch that air cleaner and all on fire.
So we're under caution. Second time today. 74 laps are now complete. The leader, well, let's see. According to the current standings, it's Gant. He's just made that pit stop. I think you're going to see Bill Elliott, the man to follow here as we get ready to go racing again.
At the first tickly itch of athlete's foot, Desenex, do not stall. Desenex intercepts athlete's foot before it turns ugly, killing those grungy fungi before they get cracking and burning. There's a can at the store with your salvation in it. Come get it, or else don't blame Desenex. And for jock itch, Crew-X is the #1 cure. Crew-X kills jock itch fungus.
Chili, fries, coffee.
You better add on some Tums.
No, on the house.
Except these aren't Tums.
Same thing.
Got them all mixed up.
I told you they're all the same.
Listen to me. Tums has calcium. Is this calcium? No, it uses aluminum and magnesium. So does this. This here, original Rolaids, uses an aluminum salt. The only one of these that helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need is Tums.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Insist on calcium-rich Tums.
This is where it happened. The breakthrough in urethane chemistry that created a car polish so technologically advanced, one application lasts an entire year. Finish 2001. The car polish you use only once every 12 months. This old car's been badly neglected. Its finish appears destroyed. With no rubbing, no buffing, Finish 2001 with its urethane formula safely brings back the showroom shine. A rich, deep gloss shine that lasts an entire year. We tested Finish 2001 against other leading polishes, even some that claim to protect your car against fire or against acid. And the test results? Nothing, but nothing protects or shines better than Finish 2001, the 12-month car polish with a 100% money-back guarantee.
Finish 2001 is available at these fine stores.
Promotional fees and consideration have been paid by the following. First Brands Corporation, maker of STP engine treatment. Help stop engine wear before you start. And by Heilig Myers Furniture Company, the proud sponsor of Bobby Hillen's Ford Thunderbird. And by Ray Bestis, the best in brakes.
Indeed we do. Hard to think that Davey Allison and Alan Kawicki are no longer with us as we get down here to some more racing at Pocono, where they both ran so well. Record on this track was Allen's. Davey had a great run here the last time out. 76 laps are now complete in this Pocono 500, and this crowd wearing their colors and their grief today for the loss of Davey Allison this past week. Pace car coming by, and that'll get us to 77. They're showing a take one on the field. Talking about tragedy this week, Linda Petty, the wife of Richard and mother of Kyle. Her dad, Leonard Owens, passed away of a heart attack this week. He was 75, resided in Randall, North Carolina. And of course, he lost a son in racing. Randy Owens was killed in that freak pit road accident, Talladega, back in the mid-70s. So our condolences to the Petty family today.
Ken, we saw a while ago, we saw Rick Mascar fall. Let's go down to Johnny Hayes. He was Rick.
Yes, I have Rick Mass here. Rick, what happened?
Well, Johnny, we were going along pretty good. You know, actually, the car was going real good. You know, we struggled all week. We kind of got messed up on a pit stop, and we got behind. But every lap, we were running a tenth faster than the leader, or the same speed as the leader. I was picking them off. You know, the car really felt good. And all of a sudden, without warning, something just broke. It was either the transmission or under the hood or in the back. I'm not sure. Something in the driveline broke. We'll get them next week at Talladega.
Thanks.
Eastern Daylight Time, Saturday.
Are you going to get them at Talladega next week?
I'm going to make a run.
Neil Bonnet's coming out of retirement for Talladega next week. You're going to drive one of Richard Childress's cars.
I tell you,
one
Ken,
of those Earnhardt specials.
I've really been getting enthused. I've just kind of been biting my tongue, not thinking a whole lot about it the last couple of weeks, and now it's real close, and I can't wait to get in and see what happens.
Now, why would anyone coming out of retirement after that awful crash you had choose the fastest track in the world to go play?
Well, probably nobody realizes that but myself, and I've done a lot of testing down there lately, and I just want to see how I feel. I want to get down there, and I don't want to go down and ride around. We're going to go down and race. They got me a plenty good race car. We'll just see what happens.
I must tell you, fans, if you wanted to see a nervous fella, that Daytona race with Earnhardt out there was no one more nervous than Bonnet, because that was the car that was scheduled for Bonnet to take to Talladega if Earnhardt didn't tear anything up.
Well, actually, he's going to use that same car at Talladega, but if he'd have tore that one up, he'd have got the one I was going to use. So I was glad to see him finish that thing.
Yeah, I'll see you.
Here we are coming down for the start.
Restart. They'll have 78 complete. Coming to the line, and as they do, they'll have Earnhardt in front, Schrader in second, Derek Cope in third, Ricky Rudd in fourth, Dale Jarrett fifth, Rusty Wallace sixth, Gant seventh, Kyle Petty eighth, Michael Waltrip ninth, and Bill Elliott 10th on the break.
There's Musgrave on the inside. He's trying to get that lap back that he lost.
Musgrave wanted to win this race.
Yeah, and he was able to get in front of Earnhardt going down in that first turn. To get right now, he's on the tail end of that lap.
23 cars are in the lead lap. Call at 24 with Musgrave running where he is right now. Earnhardt moves around and will be back to 23.
There's Schrader in second place with Irvin in fourth and Ricky Rudd in fifth place after the shuffle. Excuse me, fourth for
Cope in third.
Yep.
At Musgrave on the tail end of the lead lap.
There's Earnhardt. He got inside of Musgrave. Schrader's going to get him. It's going to get Musgrave hung on that outside lane. As bad as he wanted that lap back, when you get outside, you're going to have a lot of cars go by you.
Where do you think Musgrave's going to end up next year, Kyle? I'm sorry, Neil.
Musgrave has had several offers, I'm sure. He's pretty hot property right now. They're going a bunch of different cars, and it's just up in the air where he will go.
Take a look at Derek Cope coming to the inside on Schrader. That Cope looking very strong.
Goes right on by Schrader. Got down there on the inside, cleared Schrader.
Boy, Derek Cope having a terrific run. There's Musgrave backing up. Musgrave falling back, and here's this battle for the lead.
good all year long. Like I said, he's second in points, and he needs to get up there and mix it up, try to get as high as he can for this points battle.
Musgrave falling back. Remember, there was a penalty on a pit stop. They said he was on pit road too quick. Wallace knocking him down. Rusty Wallace running in 6th spot. Earnhardt up in front. But for the moment, the story is Derek Cope in 98. Look at him come on. They've been getting stronger of recent, and right now they're having one of their best days of the season for the Cale Yarborough team. They came in here from 9th position on the starting grid. They had an 8th at Talladega earlier this year. Derek Cope for 2nd spot, his best finish in this race at 13th. For the moment, he's up in 2nd, looking like he wants to challenge.
Here comes Schrader down the inside, trying to get back around Cope so he can make a run at Earnhardt. Schrader has that inside going across the tunnel.
The man who sat on the pole today, Ken Schrader, is there. On that very critical tunnel turn. You got to hit it right if you're going to go through. Whoa! Schrader wide, and here comes Derek Cope back after him as they come out of this flat 3rd and 4th turn area.
Yeah, that's going to put Schrader out there where possibly 3 cars are going to go by him. Cope was able to get under him. Now we've got 3 in a line. Schrader's going to get the shuffle right here.
You've said before how critical that tunnel turn is, and that certainly demonstrates it. Look at Jarrett dive to the inside, fight Rudd in the middle. Now right back, Rudd goes to the outside. Jarrett hangs it on the bottom. Wallace in the middle. There you see Derek Cope, that 2nd place car. Then Schrader, then Wallace, and Ricky Rudd with Dale Jarrett just inside of him.
Again, we said before, when 2 cars get to racing, the 5 car and the car of Schrader, I mean, got to racing each other, and all of a sudden, I mean, it was the 18 car and the 5 got to racing, and here comes that 2 cars split right between both of them, past both cars at the same time.
Where do you want to be when you approach this corner right here?
You want to be on the inside. The guy on the outside's in trouble. You want to be out right against the wall, and here's the patented move. Get up there, shove the nose right up under that car in front of you, loosen him up, where you go by. Here's Kyle coming 3D, going in the 3rd turn right there.
Great move by Kyle Petty. Sweeps them up and comes down the inside and moves himself into 6th position. Right in front of him is Dale Jarrett in the 18 car. There you see Kyle Petty down the main straightaway, and just in front of him is Jarrett. One of the biggest surprises of the 93 season, how consistent Dale Jarrett has been in that Joe Gibbs car.
Yeah, not that they win or not that pass, just consistent.
So Dale Jarrett, what were you saying, Neil? Excuse me.
The consistency. Nobody, I don't think it was a surprise when they win a Daytona or a surprise when they run good, but just week in and week out, they're right there in the battle.
Here's Ernie Irvin on the inside of Harry Gant. That is tight running the 33. This is an 8th place battle. And Ernie Irvin picks it up. Ernie Irvin into the 8th spot. Harry Gant back to 9th. Just behind him, Michael Waltrip rides 10th overall in this race with 82 laps complete. See Rick Wilson in the 42 car, Petty Engineering. He is being shown in 26, a lap down. 10th place coming through. Right behind him, Elliott in the 11th, car number 11. Then Waltrip is in 12th in the 17 car. Jimmy Spencer's number 12. Hanks tough in here now. But Jimmy Spencer is also being shown a lap down. He's back in the 27th position, 1 lap down. There you see Bodine in the 26, Brett Bodine. A pretty good run again today.
There's that blue 8 car, Sterling Marlin, who's been running good. He ran really good the first of the race, and he's fell back.
The 26 is in the 13th spot. Sterling's cleared out. He's up to 14th, running with him in that lap. Trying to put another lap on Jimmy Spencer in the Meineke car from the Allison Racing Stables.
There's Bodine and Spencer working together. Bodine in the 8 car, Sterling Marlin, trying to get around Spencer to go in that first turn.
Ray Vesta's car down on the inside, and it's under Spencer. Gives you a great idea about how to approach that tunnel turn right here.
Yeah, here you go. Now watch the guys way out by the wall. The guys in front stay out by the wall. We see the 26 take a look inside, but he'll get out. He's got to come back out. Then watch how they cut this corner. You see, he's got that move. He did that move to the inside. but the car sling right out against the wall right there. That's the 40 car of Kenny Wallace, and he knows that's lead cars coming. He's lapped down, so he's moving over, letting them go on by. A lot of racetrack on the outside, but it's almost unusable.
2.5 mile course, but you got to be right on the edge, right on the nose all the time to make time, like Dale Earnhardt is currently in the lead over Derek Cope in second and Rusty Wallace in third.
What is CNN Sports Tonight?
Highlights, stats, and scores. The play of the day.
To catch what happened in sports today,
watch CNN Sports Tonight, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific on CNN.
Now, when I was a young boy,
Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
the greatest man alive. But now I'm a man, way past 21.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Red balls of fire. You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, what a thrill. Driven at the razor, red balls of fire.
Bosch Platinum, the ultimate spark plug.
From the days when they ripped through the sands of Daytona to tracks like Talladega and Darlington, racing fans have had a love affair with the drivers. To commemorate these heroes, Country Time presents our new Collector Series, featuring Kowicki, Gant, Shepard, Hamilton, Jarrett, and Darrell Waltrip. What better way to salute the men who risk it all on the speedway and the fans who make it all worthwhile.
I really didn't want my husband to color his gray hair.
But then I discovered this, the hair coloring called Just for Men.
And now he looks better than ever.
Simply apply Just for Men and in 5 minutes rinse. Just for Men blends away the gray for a totally natural look. No wonder 8 out of 10 women prefer the Just for Men look to the gray look.
It's like you took off 10 years.
And in just 5 minutes.
Just for Men. She'll love the way you look.
The Goodwrench Chevy Lumina of Dale Earnhardt continues to lead as they come around to complete 88 laps in the Miller Genuine Draft 500. Just behind him is Kyle Petty. He's working on Schrader, and that's about 2 seconds back there. There's Kyle.
He's through working. He worked him.
And he just cleared Ken Schrader, dropped Schrader back to third spot. Behind him, Rusty Wallace and Dale Jarrett have had their own war, and that's been settled for the moment in favor of Jarrett. Dale Jarrett now in fourth. Rusty Wallace falling back dramatically here, considerably. Wallace in fifth spot, and Ernie Irvin is sixth, and Derek Cope is back in seventh.
We just saw Spencer go in the pits of Bobby Allison's car, and I think Randy's down with. What's the problem, Randy?
Well, guys, he's unfortunate here, much so like Mark Martin, only he's having to do it under green. They're changing the carburetor, so a couple of these carburetor problems
Car
today.
in trouble. 2 cars getting snarled. The 99 getting wide up into the corner in turn 1, and with him, that's Johnny Krebs, the driver out of the Winston West Series, and car number 29, Kerry Teague, making his first start at Pocono, gets all torn up and brings out caution number 3 of the day. Oh, that's too bad. That's a Diamond Ridge car. Phil Parsons has had some work in that car. And Krebs, good star from the Winston West Series, hoping to have a good run here. Badly torn up, and as well as this number 29.
Saw Krebs moving around in the car.
Let's take a look at what happened here.
Here they go down the corner. Oh, Krebs' car sideways. The 99 car got sideways directly in front of the 29. Oh, Krebs really got into that outside wall. You saw the car come flying back up in the air. He hit nose first, spun around, went in head first. I did see him moving, Ken, a little bit just before we went to this replay. Hopefully he's okay.
Took an awful lick. How much speed do you carry down into that corner, Neil?
Oh, that front straightaway here, you run 185 miles an hour. You downshift and use a lot of braking, but he was probably running in excess of 150 miles an hour when he got to the wall, even though it spun.
Here's the 29 back on pit road for Brad Teague. Tough moment for him, but equally hard for John Krebs in the number 99 Diamond Ridge Chevrolet out of California up near Sacramento. Continuing to work on the Krebs car. Started about 8 years ago. Was one of the drivers that UST had brought along out on the West Coast.
See this, all the safety crew. We got guys there at the window working with him. Got guys working to try to get the car ready to move there. Also there at the window. I haven't seen him get out. Here's the leaders coming down pit road now.
All the leaders coming in. John Krebs' car still lies in the top of the first turn area. The rest of the field is on pit road. Earnhardt is in. And we'll follow the story here in the pits for a moment.
We haven't heard any more about the battery in Earnhardt's car. The thing might not be giving him trouble.
Let's go to Dick Berggren in that Earnhardt pit.
Well, the answer on the battery is, Neil, that they're not sure this one's going to last all the way, nor are they sure where the electrical problem is. They say it's no better, it's no worse. They just finished a 19.66 pit stop, which is a good one, but the electrical problems is the real problem. Randy?
Around the wedge out of Rusty Wallace's car. He's back out in the way. But they do most of these adjustments with air pressure nowadays, guys. But Rusty Wallace, not too many change. One round of wedge.
10 laps to halfway as the leaders come on pit road under caution at Pocono after John Krebs has crashed in turn number 1. We'll update you on that story in a moment. It's the Miller Genuine Draft from Pocono, Pennsylvania, here on TBS Today.
The Miller Genuine Draft 500 is brought to you by the new Chevy Camaro. What else would you expect from the country that invented rock and roll?
Camaro Z28. What else would you expect from the country that invented rock and roll?
Inside your smooth-running engine is a torture chamber. And under these grueling conditions, only one leading motor oil in every grade meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown. Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol. After all, why make things tougher on your engine? Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard Oil Filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
Wouldn't it be great? Yeah! If you invented a special potion that turned anybody into Rachel Hunter, the supermodel.
Ralph, would you take me for a walk?
Cool.
Ralph, we gotta work all weekend. All weekend.
And your special potion turned ordinary beer in a can into Keystone, Keystone Light, and Keystone Dry, specially lined for really smooth bottle beer taste.
Ralph, mind if I join your party?
Sure, Bert. Come on over. Wouldn't that be great?
Under caution here at Pocono International Raceway, 91 laps into the books. Kyle Petty has managed to reestablish himself out in front. Here in the Miller Genuine Draft 500, we're in caution, though, at this point. Joining us here in the SCP Pit Communications Center, Rookie of the Year point leader Jeff Gordon. Sorry to see you in here so early. What happened?
I'm sorry to be in here. We had some motor problems. You know, it's pretty unlikely for our team. We have had very little motor trouble this year. And you know, I hate to see it. This place is just so tough on engines that it got a piece of ours today.
Your first time here was back in the June race. Is it tough to learn to work that gear shift situation on an oval track?
No, not really on a track like this. With the Jericho transmission, that helps. But the the change is so small. You know, you're not really downshifting. You don't have to match the RPMs like you do on a road course. Just kind of get down there in the middle of the corner and throw it up into the gear and then go.
You started 20th today, but you were coming up through the field nicely. The car was working well for you.
I believe we were close to 10th when we went out, and really didn't have a very good handling car at the beginning of the race, but we got that pit stop to work on it. And I tell you, that crew did a great job. They got the car working real well. We got 4 tires, and the car was really coming on. And we finally loosened the car up to where it felt like it got going. And we might have had something for him, at least a top 10 anyway.
All right, thank you, Jeff Gordon. Good luck at Talladega next week.
Thanks a lot.
That's his 5th DNF did not finish this year for Jeff Gordon. Had some very good luck and some bad luck too.
We see Kyle Petty up in front of Earnhardt. Let's go down and watch this thing on pit road. Even though we're in the stock car race, let's show you what the drag race that happened to get track positioning. Here's Earnhardt pit further up the track coming down pit road. Kyle, all he had to do is cross that white line. So he's first, the 3 second, the 18 third.
As we get ready to resume at lap 93 when they come by to take green. It'll be Kyle first, Earnhardt second, Dale Jarrett third, Ken Schrader fourth, Derek Cope will be in 5th. Now Derek Cope changed a motor this morning. Bobby Labonte changed. We're talking about motors here. You lost, what, 12 motors in June. 18 cars had motor trouble. Why so much motor trouble here at Pocono?
Ken, let me tell you, even though Jeff Gordon said it's not a lot of change, you shift one time, but that's the problem. You got a straightaway here that's 37 foot long, then you got one that's 20-something hundred feet, and then one's 1,700 feet. We're used to catering the motor to one straightaway. So you come down this big straightaway, you just twist the motor out of the frame at a high RPM, so you've got enough gear to jump across those short straightaways. So the motor is actually laboring to its full potential 3 times on each straightaway. Just big cycles will kill those motors.
Do you think we'll see that Jericho transmission used more at places like New Hampshire International Speedway next year?
The first thing I thought when I saw New Hampshire, I said, hey, Jericho. And I walked through the garage here and said, hey, next time we go back, we'll put a transmission. I think you're going to see these guys take that option and start putting those transmissions in more racetracks.
All right, we're getting ready to go green once again, folks. Within 8 of getting down to the halfway mark in the event. And again, Kyle first, Earnhardt second, Jarrett's in 3rd, Schrader 4th, Cope is 5th, Gant is 6th, Michael Waltrip is running in 7th, Bill Elliott is 8th, Ernie Irvan, Rusty Wallace is 10th, then Jeff Bodine 11th, Brett Bodine 12th, all in the lead lap, Morgan Shepherd 13th, Darrell is 14th, Phil Parsons 15th, Terry Labonte 16th, Bobby Labonte up there in 17th as they take green. Cars on the inside, Musgrave trying to get his lap back in.
How about 5 wide right here?
How about 6? How about a half dozen? Make that 7 for a moment.
There was 7 for just a minute right there. Some of the cars that were lapped down were on the tail end of the lead lap, and they wanted to stay in front of those leaders. Really stacked it up.
And look who's in front. Kyle Petty is there. Earnhardt in 2nd, Jarrett in 3rd. Top 3 splitting right through all those cars. And once again, after that massive Oklahoma land rush start, these top guys sorting it out. Here comes Kyle, working on Earnhardt. Comes to the inside. Crowd comes to its feet. Battle for the lead. Kyle goes underneath the man in black. And here comes Jarrett with it. Exciting racing here at Pocono. Kyle Petty out in front. Earnhardt for 2nd spot. It's Jarrett in 3rd as they clear the 4th turn. Sliding those cars off that 6-degree banking. That's what it's all about, Neil.
Ken, how many times have we seen a guy pass somebody over the tunnel and then they go right back around him? It's tough to pass. Boy, 3 wide going down here. And there's look like Rusty going 4 wide to the inside.
Wallace all the way on the bottom. Gant trying to stay on the bottom. Still 3 wide in turn 1. Look at that.
Somebody's going to bend a fender here if they're not careful.
Unbelievable. Michael Waltrip high, Harry Gant in the middle, and nobody's letting off. Rusty Wallace down on the bottom. That's all back in the 7th, 8th, 9th position. 10th, 11th, and 12th as well. Gant goes after Wallace. Wallace goes high. Here comes Gant.
I don't think Gant liked that idea of getting shoved out there so wide. So he just drove the thing right back up under Rusty Wallace. So you try it out there on the outside a little bit. Good racing right here.
Morgan Shepherd moving under Wallace. Off the tunnel turn. Look at Jeff Bodine stretching that number 15 car, that Motorcraft car, getting it down to the bottom. And
I think they're getting where they like this 3 and 4 and 5 wide down the front straightaway. Every lap they spread them out.
It looks like there's something they all want to see on turn 1.
It is the inside, but you just can't get there.
Harry Gant making a strong move on Rusty Wallace. Meanwhile, up in front, Kyle Petty's there. Earnhardt's in second. Ernie Irvin falling back a bit. Let's go back with those leaders for a moment. That trio trying to draw away. And they've got that field covered by about 20, 25 car lengths.
Let me tell you, when you went, what we saw a while ago, 3 and 4 wide in there, all 4 or 5 cars involved had to lift out of the throttle to be able to make it through there. You could not go through there at the rate of speed you normally do, and that's let these leaders really get away. Richard Childress sitting there watching Earnhardt, trying to figure, I'm sure they're trying to figure, what does it take to beat that 42 car at Pocono? The last race, he was unbeatable, and now he's back out front again.
All of them right down on the bottom of that 14-degree banking. Earnhardt looking for a little room to run on Kyle Petty.
The key right here, we've seen it before. What they want to do is get up there and just put the nose up under that guy and make him break that rear loose, run across this tunnel, and when he breaks loose, drive up the inside of him. But Kyle's car has been so good. See how far it gets down in the corner? It's hard to get up on the inside of him. Earnhardt's wanting to do that. There he goes.
Look at Hillen. Oh, he's loose. He's out of control. Got tapped out there. Tries to get it back. He's headed for the wall. Spins all the way around. He's sitting in the track in the Heilig Myers number 90 as we get back into the action further in the field. Bobby Hillen shifts it up. Yellow is out. He was running in 14th. It looked like Colt was right there with him on the outside when it got loose, and he did a 360, gathers it up, and keeps going. But Yellow is out. That'll be the 4th caution of the day.
Well, I tell you, he had his hands full right there. Did the proper thing, got it turned back around, shifted gears, and kept going. I was afraid some of those cars coming by were going to hit him while he was spinning. We saw him going by on both sides of him.
That's what I was concerned about, that somebody was going to take that car apart. The Junie Donlevy car doing a 360 for you this afternoon right at lap number 97. And as that happened, number 3 took the lead away from car number 42. As we were riding that wild spinning car number 90, Earnhardt moves under Kyle Petty and goes back up for first place as we come toward halfway. We'll be back with more of this story. We're in caution number 4 of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 from Pocono, Pennsylvania. Stay with us.
McDonald's, huh? Yeah. Smells good. Thanks.
If this ride were any longer, you'd have to fight for those fries.
We're stuck.
Raybestos has the right brake for you, no matter what car you drive. Raybestos, the best in brakes.
For the nearest Raybestos parts store or installer, call 1-800-4-RAYBESTOS.
Anytime, any place, go fish. Anyone, any taste, go fish.
At Long John's, get what you want any way you want it, anytime.
You can get your wish anytime. Go fish. Long John Silver's.
Here's the real beauty of Rust-Oleum protective coatings. A tough barrier against the elements. Rust-Oleum, the name that means protection.
A dangerous moment for Bobby Hillen, running in 14th position. How close was it for Bobby Hillen as he came out of turn number 1? Take a look at this. That's Michael Waltrip in the 30, not Derek Cope. But watch what happens here.
They got the left side wheels down on the grass trying to stay off the 30, sliding along, but now it's going to make a loop across. Look at Waltrip, Darrell Waltrip. What a job to miss him. And look at these cars. Bobby Labonte virtually stopped to get around him. Shifts gears, takes off, and moves on.
Now from the in-car camera, just take a listen.
Ken, I believe I've heard that sound before. I tell you what, though, usually that sound is followed by a big crunch. He's lucky he didn't get the last part of it.
He is so lucky he didn't get the big crunch. From the 17 car, Waltrip made a good move, and Waltrip was very, very lucky with the man on the outside. He didn't collect somebody and dump them both in the wall. That could have been a bad moment. Well, we've completed 99 laps. We're going to get to lap 100. We've had some pit stops out here. Ernie Irvan has pit. Jeff Bodine has come in. Sterling Marlin has pitted his car. Bobby Hamilton has been in. Darrell Waltrip's been in.
We saw Krebs' accident. Well, let's go down to Johnny Hayes. He's at the hospital and see if we can find out how he is.
Neil John's fine. I'm at the infield hospital. He just walked out. I talked with him. He's 100%. He said to me, "Welcome to the East Coast." So he's 100% okay.
John Krebs out of Rossville, California. Keep saying Buddy Krebs, but that's a big name in the East. Krebs is a big, and of course he's all right on the West Coast too. He's been out there in Winston West, made a name for himself. Guess if you're named Krebs, you're just a good racer.
Yes, sir. And John, his dad, Art Krebs, was the inspector that worked for NASCAR for so many years, doing checking the engines and stuff.
And ran the Winston West Series, I believe.
Yes, sir. Good racing family.
Yep. Well, we're getting ready. I think we're, what, one away from getting this thing cranked again. We have completed 99 laps, so we're down to midpoint. Pace car has that feel over on the back straightaway, and I think we're ready to go for it here. As they get set for a start, you'll have Earnhardt in first, Kyle Petty in second. You'll see Dale Jarrett coming out third, Schrader in fourth, Derek Cope fifth, Morgan Shepherd sixth, Harry Gant in seventh. We've had 14 lead changes among 9 drivers thus far. We're just completing the 4th caution of the day, if you're just joining us. Ken Schrader set on the pole with a new record at 162 miles an hour. Bill Elliott was on the outside of the front row when the race began. Ernie Irvan gave it a shot up in front. Ricky Rudd made an outstanding run. Jeff Gordon is retired from the race. We'll update you on some of the retirees here very, very shortly. But it's been, again, that story of Earnhardt coming through the field. Kyle Petty from 19th making a brilliant run to lead much of it thus far. And Dale Jarrett looking strong at this point. Let's not forget Cope, who's had one of his best weekends recently in the Bojangles car, right up there in the front 5. And you're riding right with him right now as he sails off into turn number 1 in 5th position.
We saw him trying to look to the outside. He thought about going in that outside line, but he got back on the inside before he got in 1.
Boy, those cars seem to take a lot of abuse off that inside of turn 1. You can see him load up, rumble back and forth in there. Suspension is really taking a licking. Up in front, Kyle Petty goes after Earnhardt. Got him. Earnhardt coming back. Jarrett just watching.
We see the 6th car of Mark Martin. He was able to get the jump on that start and able to get on around these 2 guys. He's trying to get one of those laps back. Earnhardt down the inside of Kyle Petty.
Got it. Earnhardt back in front. This at the halfway point. And that's why that crowd is standing.
You know, Mark Martin said he was still having trouble, but boy, I tell you what, that car he checked out on that start.
Mark Martin trying to get a lap back here in car number 6. On tail end of the lead lap right now in 23rd position, Mark Martin.
No wonder he's fighting so hard. They didn't think they corrected that problem earlier, but it doesn't seem to have hurt the speed of that race car.
The Jack Rouse Ford trying to stay up in front of that Richard Childress Chevy and stay in that lead lap. And one more caution, try to get, sails that thing right up to the wall.
It's going to go to the wall over that tunnel there. The question is, does it go with the front end or the back end? You never get it just like you want. It's very seldom. You either push across that tunnel or the back end breaks loose.
It looked like the back end broke loose that time. He was losing some time, but he stays there. Here they are in the main straightaway. Earnhardt coming up. 3-car train. Kyle Petty in second. And in the 3rd position it remains Dale Jarrett, the Interstate car. trying to put a lap on Mark Martin, and Mark Martin trying with everything he's got to stay in this lead lap. Fram, Ray Story thus far in the event. Take a look at the lap leaders thus far. As we take a look at the Allied Signal, Fram, Ray Story got a caution from lap 13 to 15.